Live on a Saturday night, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's game 2 of 72 in the regular season, as the Grizzlies are on the road at Gas South Arena to take on the Atlanta Gladiators. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Last night, the regular season opener, the Grizzlies picked up a 3-1 victory at Greenville as Garrett Pike scored 2 goals and Ty Voigt added an empty netter towards the end. Dryden McCabe is outstanding in net as he saved 25 of 26. And head coach John Buchanan picked up his first victory as a professional head coach. And if you think about it, Buchanan's the 9th head coach in Grizzlies history. And Grizzlies coaches all time in their debuts are 6-2-0-1. So a good start for John Buchanan as he gets on the board with a victory in the regular season opener. It's going to be Dylan Wells getting the start in net. Obviously, Dryden McCabe saved 25 of 26 last night. It's Dylan Wells this evening. And for the Atlanta Gladiators, it's Ethan Hyder. Hyder had an outstanding year with the Gladiators last season. It's his second year as a pro. And so we got a good goaltending matchup tonight. Dylan Wells, who spent one game with the Chicago Blackhawks, taking on Ethan Hyder. Obviously, both teams are not very familiar with each other. There's a few Merrimack College connections, but otherwise, there are no former Grizzlies on the Gladiators roster, and there's no former Gladiators on the Grizzlies roster. So you're talking about two teams that are not familiar with each other, but these teams will meet 5 times during the regular season, twice this weekend, tonight and tomorrow afternoon. And then the Gladiators will be at Maverick Center for a 3-game series on December 10th. 12th and 13th. And December 13th is the Grizzlies' annual Teddy Bear Toss, and that should be a ton of fun. Well, it looks like a good crowd is filing into Gas South Arena. It's the Gladiators' opening game for the 2025-26 season. And for the Utah Grizzlies, it's the second of a 4-game road trip. Well, unfortunately, here at the Grizz Cave near the Grizzlies team store, internet is not working. So we're working on Wi-Fi, and unfortunately, we got a screen that's freezing every 20 seconds, and so that should sputter a few things. And but we're just going to try to have fun, and hopefully we'll be able to describe a hockey game for everybody, as face-off should be in about, say, 12 minutes from now. It is the Gladiators opener, so they might have some pomp and circumstance beforehand, and they might introduce the entire team. So there is a little bit of a question mark there to the 5:10 start, 7:10 locally in Atlanta. When we come back, we will go over the lineups for both teams. We're in business on a Saturday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. Face-offs in about 10 minutes from now as the Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Gladiators. Unfortunately, we don't know the starters, but we do know who's going to be out there for both teams. And for the Grizzlies, they are going with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. We know the top forward line tonight is going to be Tyler Gratton with Mick Messner and Reed Lebster. That's the top forward line from left to right. Second forward line from left to right is Neil Shea with Luke Manning and Ty Voigt. Voigt scored his first goal in a Grizzlies uniform with an assist with a goal on an empty netter, with Luke Manning and Neil Shea picking up the assists. Third forward line from left to right is Jack Ricketts with Danny Genev and Griffin Ness. And the fourth forward line is John Jalot and Evan Friesen. Forward lines will vary quite a bit, as Jalot and Friesen will get regular playing time. And so at any time, it could be any combination of forwards out there for John Buchanan's crew. 6 defensemen for the Grizzlies tonight. Top defensive pairing. They were stars last night. Garrett Pike had 2 goals and was a +3. And Christian Felton was a +2 for the Grizzlies last night in his team debut. Felton officially listed as a rookie. He spent 13 games with the Abbotsford Canucks and 7 games with the ECHL's Kalamazoo Wings last season. Felton is a Merrimack product. There's a few Atlanta players from Merrimack, as well as Mick Messner spent a couple years there as well. The second defensive pairing is Luke Salem and Luke Lemaster. Luke Salem spells his first name L-U-C, and he led the Grizzlies with 6 shots on goal last night. Luke Lemaster celebrated a birthday last night, and tonight he makes his season debut. Lemaster will be wearing number 25 for the Grizzlies, and that should be an interesting defensive pairing as Lemaster takes over Noah Gansky's spot on the lineup card tonight. Avery Winslow and Colby Enns is the third defensive pairing. So that's the 6 D-men for the Grizzlies tonight. Pike and Felton along with Salem and Lemaster. And the third defensive pairing is Avery Winslow and Colby Enns. And that was a big difference in last night's victory, as the defensive unit, all 6 of them, were outstanding, and Lemaster takes over Noah Gansky's spot in the lineup. The defensive scratches for the Grizzlies include Aiden Hansen-Bukata and the aforementioned Noah Gansky. Forward scratches for Utah include Rylan Kovacevic as well as Adam Berg, and also out of the lineup is Maxime Barbashev. So that's the lineup for the Grizzlies tonight. The starting goaltender is Dylan Wells, who's making his Grizzlies regular season debut. He is 6'2" and 190 pounds. Wells has appeared in games with 5 different AHL clubs. He'll be wearing number 32 for the Grizzlies tonight. Wells last season played in 20 games with the Allen Americans and had a record of 7-9-3 with an .896 save percentage. He also spent a bit of time with the Tucson Roadrunners last year, where he had a 3-3-3 record with an even .900 save percentage and 2.89 goals against average. Wells is a former 5th-round draft pick by the Edmonton Oilers in the 2016 NHL entry draft. And he does have 1 game of NHL experience, as Wells appeared in a game with the Chicago Blackhawks. He played in the 3rd period of a game against the Winnipeg Jets a few years ago. And looks like the Atlanta Gladiators, this is their regular season opener. And if you're watching on Flow Sports, hopefully your screen is a little bit better than mine. Unfortunately, mine is freezing every 20 seconds, and that may have an impact on how we describe the game and all that. But if you are watching on Flow Sports, the Atlanta Gladiators jerseys are something. Looks like it's a white-based jersey with beige. An interesting color. It looks like the numbers do stand out, though, on the jerseys. That is certainly good to see. Grizzlies, we saw a brief glimpse of them as they were skating by, as they are introducing every member of the Atlanta Gladiators. Grizzlies are wearing a black jersey with white numbers and professional green trim. Lineup for the Atlanta Gladiators, and, there aren't too many players that have played against the Grizzlies. No former Grizzlies on their roster. Top forward line, their captain is Cody Silvestri. He's one of the greatest players in Gladiators history, and he'll be lined up with Mike McNamee, who's the first-line center, and Ethan Scardina is the first-line right wing. Scardina played his college hockey at Bowling Green State University. Second forward line from left to right is Kalen Lind, who played with the WHL's Red Deer Rebels last year. He's going to be lined up with Louis Boudon, as Boudon played overseas. He is 27 years old, 5'11", 187 pounds. And number 86, Ryan Francis, who last year spent some time with the Atlanta Gladiators and was also with Adirondack. It's his fourth full season as a pro. Third forward line from left to right is Carson Denomi. He's going to be wearing number 18, and he's lined up with Alex Young and Isaac Walter. Walter, a rookie out of the University of Vermont. Fourth forward line includes Mickey Burns, who's going to be out there with Joey Cipollone. Cipollone in his third year as a pro at number 24. Ryan Nolan, who split time with the Adirondack Thunder and the Fayetteville Club in the SBHL. So that's the 12 forwards for the Gladiators tonight. 6 defensemen for Matt Ginn's crew. Ginn making his professional head coaching debut. The first defensive line, we're not sure about the starters yet, but it's going to be Anthony Furiolo, Firriolo, and he'll be paired up with Chad Nychuk. Nychuk spent some time with the AHL's Milwaukee club. Nychuk has an AHL contract with the Milwaukee Admirals. And we'll also see Andrew Jarvis, the former Allen American. He's going to be lined up with Brendan Less. And the third defensive pairing is Ryan Conroy, and he's going to be lined up with Jack Robalate, who played at UMass Lowell last year and also spent some time with the Bloomington Bison. We'll come back and have face-off on the other side. You've been tuned into the pregame report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Are pretty close to the opening face-off. It's a great day for hockey and a great day for 2 standings points. Kind of a partial sellout over at Gas South Arena for the opener over in Gwinnett, Georgia's Utah Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Gladiators. Ethan Hyder is going to get the start in net for Atlanta. It's the first time he's ever faced the Grizzlies, second-year pro. Hyder is 6'4" and 190 pounds out of Maple Grove, Minnesota. And for the Grizzlies, it's Dylan Wells making his team debut. Wells played with 5 different AHL clubs, and the Grizzlies will be his 5th different ECHL club. He's played for a lot of Mountain Division teams, as the Grizzlies are the 4th different Mountain Division team that he has played with. 20 minutes are put on the Gas South Arena, and there's a picture of Kevin Bruder, who passed away in the month of May. And obviously, Grizzlies are going to be honoring Kevin Bruder all season. I think there might be a moment of silence for the memory of Kevin Bruder. Unfortunately, I don't hear the audio in Atlanta, but they did show Kevin Bruder. And really for Atlanta, they're feeling it as well, as the Gladiators team president, Jared Youngman, spent 23 years with the Grizzlies in many capacities. And there's Jared, if you're watching on Flow Sports, sporting a goatee, and it seems like he's enjoyed himself over in Atlanta. He's also a high school football official, had been in Utah for many years, and he has kind of carried on that torch, and he's doing some high school football officiating over in the state of Georgia. As the 2 captains, Mick Messner of the Grizzlies and Cody Sylvester of the Atlanta Gladiators, and Sylvester is towards the top of just about every record that the Atlanta Gladiators have, as Sylvester has scored 101 goals with the Gladiators, and he's been with Atlanta since 2021. As they've got multiple ceremonial puck drops, as now it looks like they've given the referee a game puck that comes out of a box. It looks like you get from a cookie shop. It looks like we're about set for action. Maybe we have another ceremonial puck drop. I'm not sure. There's a guy that looks like Julius Caesar, and he's going to have a proclamation of some sorts. As the MC, it looks like they've got a lot of fun pomp and circumstance type of stuff over in Atlanta, the Gwinnett area, which is a suburb of Atlanta. As the fans having a good time over in Georgia. And we'll see if we can get face-off. Unfortunately, we don't even know who the starters are, as the Gladiators are wearing a white jersey with a little bit of gold mixed in across the jersey with gold lettering. For Atlanta, Matt Ginn is making his professional head coaching debut. And for the Grizzlies, John Buchanan won his first appearance. Looks like it's Messner taking the opening drives out there with Webster and Tyler Gratton in the defensive pairing. As Christian Felton and Garrett Pike are underway as the Gladiators skate from right to left, Grizzlies from left to right. Utah in a black jersey, white number, professional green trim at center ice as they sail it all the way to Dylan Wells. He gloves it about waist high and holds on. So the first shot of the game was fired 13 seconds in. And unfortunately, internet, believe it or not, is not working here at the Grizz Cave near the Grizzlies team store. And so my screen has been freezing every 20 seconds, and that will unfortunately have an effect as to how I call the free-flowing action. As a sport of hockey, you can't miss 3 seconds or else you're going to miss a lot. As there's a frozen screen there. Now 8 seconds roll off. Puck ended up at center ice, and the Gladiators drive it back in as Christian Felton, number 42, over in the near corner, battles with the Grizzly. Utah comes up with his Messner race out to center ice, 3-on-2. Messner will chip it to his left. Gratton back towards Messner. Left side will take a lefty shot. Save. Rebound by Pike, and all. He looked like he fanned on a shot attempt 10 feet in front of the crease. Remember, Pike was the number one star. Puck slides in front of the crease, and it's covered up by Ethan Hyder as he makes the stop. And we get a whistle 46 seconds into the game. So a good shift by the Grizzlies' top forward line, and Webster, Messner, and Gratton. As the Grizzlies had a 3-on-2 and had a pretty good look. And then Pike just kind of swung and missed on a good attempt over in the slot as he was looking for a rebound. Manning's out there with Voigt and Shea as Manning's taking the face-off against Louis Boudon. Boudon, number 29. Boudon's kicked out of the face-off circle. Caleb Lynn, number 61, will take the draw for the Gladiators. Atlanta wins it as Brendan Less, number 2, will spin it all the way towards center ice. And now the Gladiators cross the center red line. Now they pitch it to Boudon as Boudon will whip it around the boards. And now they get up top to the left side. Now back towards the left point. And the shot is blocked away by Wells. We played a minute, 5 seconds. Still no score. Left point righty shot, and that's blocked away by Wells. As the Gladiators behind Utah's net. As Colby Enns will take it away, and he'll get it to Winslow. Winslow gets bounced along the boards. Gladiators get it back towards the left point. Now to the high slot. Gladiators, toe drag, wrist shot, saved by Wells. And the Grizzlies will start the attack. Utah dumps it in as Neil Shea back to the right side, and I'm pausing because unfortunately my screen is freezing every 30 seconds for about 4 seconds apiece. As Voigt gets hit along the boards, Manning takes the puck. He'll get it up top. As Lemaster will get it to Salem, both guys named Luke with different spellings. Salem fires towards the net, and looks like the save is made by Hyder. He holds on with 18:13 left in the first. So we're just underway, so grab some chips and dip and a beverage of your choice and enjoy part of Saturday with us. And hopefully the Wi-Fi here at Maverick Center will be a little bit better than what it's been. As the Grizzlies will have Evan Friesen take the drives out there with Gratton. As Grizzlies win the draw, Pike high slot. His lefty shot is blocked. It stays in play and bounces to neutral ice. Pike back into the Grizzlies zone. As he'll move it ahead to Gratton at the center red line. Gratton off the screen will get it to Felton. Felton stops on a dime just outside the left circle action in the Gladiators zone. As John Gillott in his first shift of the game hacking away. Battle along the far boards. As we played 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Now the puck is behind Atlanta's net. As the Grizzly goes down, Gillott continues his battle with the Gladiator. Utah's Evan Friesen gets pushed towards the near corner, and Friesen gets taken off the puck. Atlanta gets it. As the Gladiators throw it, but not out, as Felton will chip it towards the far circle. The only problem is the Gladiator has it. Atlanta rolls it towards the point as they battle with Tyler Gratton. We play 2.5 minutes, no score, as Atlanta gets the puck, and the Grizzlies will make a line change. Gladiators will make a change as well. Atlanta now back behind their own net. Jack Ricketts on the ice, the Quinnipiac product, first-year pro. He's got an AHL contract with Tucson, as the Gladiators will bounce one towards the left wing, enter the zone. Right, left side, righty shot, and that one's blocked away. That was Joey Cipollone, number 71, that took the shot that Wells made the save on, as Ends and Cipollone battle. Cipollone out towards the left circle. Atlanta hacking away. Shots blocked by Ness. Rebound shot, and that one's blocked away. Grizzlies come back the other way as Griffin Ness to the left wing. Steps over the offensive line as Ness will dawn it. The screen froze again. As now Genev back towards Ness, as Ness over in the right corner. As the Gladiators will chip it back to center ice. Genev in the area as well as Luke Lemaster. Gladiators will dump it into the right corner. Wells plays behind his net and gets it to Luke Salem. 16-18 on a moving clock, still no score. As we're in period number 1. Gratton over towards the Gladiators bench. Gladiators will back it out into their own zone. Grizzlies skate from left to right. As Atlanta steps over the offensive line towards the left wing. Grizzlies back up with it as Gratton tried to chip it ahead. Puck goes back towards Gratton. And now Lemaster will get it to Salem. His left wing feed long range. Glanced off a Grizzly stick as Lepster continues his battle. Both Grizzly and Gladiator trying to locate the puck. Now Atlanta will sell it all the way towards Wells. Wells raises his left arm. Linesmen raise their right arm. And icing is on the Gladiators, but 15:42 left in the first. Referee tonight is Brendan Schreider. The linesmen are Nick Klesko and Kyle Gaspari. Gaspari was at last night's Grizzlies 3-1 victory over the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Messner will take the draw, gets up top. Garrett Pike scored 2 goals from the left point. He'll dump it in off the Atlanta backboard. Now Felton collides with a Gladiator, and Messner gets hit in the back. Puck goes back to center ice. Gratton will chip it off a Gladiator stick as the puck goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Garrett Pike runs it down. Pike will get it to the right wing for Lepster. Lepster will throw it between the legs of Messner. Lepster wearing number 23 this season. Last year that was worn by Kay Jensen. Gladiators step over the offensive line. They'll chip it over to Kalen Lind. Lind will throw it to the left side. Now the puck ends up in the corner. As we played 5 minutes, still no score. Gladiators skate back towards the right point. Now to the high slot. Righty shot. And that one, Wells might have gotten a piece of it with his right pad. As Colby Ends in the area collides with Jack Robilotti, who's 6'3", 194 pounds. Back behind the net. Ends continues his battle as Manning looks nearby. Manning comes with the puck as he'll skate around Wells' net. Manning chips it ahead as he tried to get to Neil Shea. Shea couldn't reach his stick. No icing on the play as Shea gets belted by Robilotti. As the Gladiators now back to the left point. Grizzlies with a lefty shot, and that's blocked, and it deflects out of play with 14:26 left in the first. First of 5 regular season meetings between the Grizzlies and Gladiators. Same teams will meet tomorrow afternoon. It'll be a 1 o'clock start in the Mountain Time Zone, 3 o'clock over in Gwinnett, Georgia. And then the Gladiators will be at Maverick Center for a 3-game series, December 10th, 12th, and 13th. And don't forget, Saturday, December 13th, will be the Grizzlies' final teddy bear toss. Draw won by the Gladiators. As Atlanta skating from right to left, they'll move it over to the left wing. Chad Nychuk steps over the line wearing number 39, gets to the left circle. Nychuk gets a back shot saved by Wells. Grizzlies come back the other way. Utah quick in the transition game as Jalot crosses center ice. He'll dump it in. He's out there with Lepster as Jalot chases after it. A Gladiator back with it. My screen freezes and the puck goes back to center ice. Looked like Jalot was about to belt the guy pretty good along the end boards. Left wing, lefty shot that's sticked away by Wells. He played 6 minutes. Still no score. Atlanta back towards the left goal line. They get it up top. Now back to the right point. Lefty shot, and that one's blocked away as it might have gotten off the stick of Jalot. Salem delivers ahead. He wears number 6 as the Grizzlies come back the other way. Utah gets the Lepster, who crosses center ice. Lepster over the offensive line. He gets hit along the boards by number 6, Andrew Jarvis, the former Allen American, as the Gladiators in their white jerseys, white helmets. They cross center ice, 2-on-3 over the line. Right side, righty shot saved by Wells. Now the Gladiators get up top, but nobody was home in the high slot. It goes past all three Gladiators, and goaltender Hyder cuts it off over in the near corner. As we're skating 5-on-5, Gladiators will start the attack as they race out to center ice. I believe that's Jarvis, number 8. Actually, that's Ryan Conroy, number 8, 5'9", 185 pounds. Not very big, but he's got a lot of speed. Grizzlies have the puck again. As racing down center ice is John Gallant. He's been very active in this first segment of play. As the puck goes in deep, Christian Felton collides with two Gladiators. As Ricketts in the area, now another Gladiator gets it, and they'll push it ahead. As Grizzlies back defensively, 2-on-2, Atlanta reached for the puck at center ice but couldn't corral it. As Utah gets it back to Christian Felton, who crosses the center red line, steps over the offensive line from the right wing. He'll drop it off for Ricketts wearing number 28. Ricketts dances around. He's got good size. So he'll get it back towards Danny Genev, who fires towards the net, looking for Ness to redirect it. It goes wide. As Atlanta, with a scoreless game, skates towards the left side. Lefty shot and a score. Well, the Gladiators look like I'm not sure what happened. Unfortunately, the screen froze. Atlanta looked like maybe they were celebrating a goal, but it looks like it's still a scoreless game. 12:16 left in the first period. Still no score. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. No score. 12:16 is the time remaining in the first period. Back after this.
Maverick's new Bean to Cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Well, the Grizzlies and Gladiators, we played just about 8 minutes. Still no score. We'll see if we can get a couple stats from tonight's game so far, as Atlanta's outshot Utah 9-2. Ryan Nolan's already taken 2 shots for the Gladiators. For the Grizzlies, Luke Salem and Mick Messner each have 1 shot. We haven't had a power play as of yet, as Messner will take the draw. Messner, the Grizzlies captain. This is consecutive game number 152 for Messner. Taking the draw for Atlanta is Louis Baudon. Baudon, wearing number 29, played overseas last few years. As a draw won by the Gladiators, sharp angle shot from the near goal line, saved by Wells. Grizzlies come back the other way. As Lepster crosses center ice, he'll bounce one in. Colby Enns chasing after it. Enns has a pretty good size-speed ratio. Now Lepster over to the right side, chips it up top. Gratton fires towards the net. And now it's deflected out of play. Unfortunately, I couldn't see where Gratton's shot ended up. 11:53 is left in the first period, and a fan in row 1 comes away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. She seems pretty happy. And, the first thing you do when you get a puck is you look at it and you examine it. And so she's pretty happy. Actually, I'm not sure she's smiling that much, but she's just like, cool, I got a puck. And she's not sure what to do with it. It's kind of like catching a foul ball at a baseball game. You can keep it for time and eternity. As draws over towards the left circle, Messner gets on 2 knees, and the Gladiators will sweep one off the near wing wall. Grizzlies chase after it. No icing on the plays. It gets in the crease, and Wells covers up. So the Gladiators will have an offensive zone draw with 11:42 left in the first. Same teams tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock face-off. Pre-game coverage at 12:45 or so. As Messner will take the face-off for the Grizzlies once again. He's out there with Lepster and Tyler Gratton. Grizzlies are switching up the forward lines a lot as they've got an odd number tonight. And all 11 forwards are going to play quite a bit. Puck ends up in the near corner as Lemaster takes a spill. Grizzlies had 4 power plays last night. We continue to skate 5-on-5. Gladiators get it back up top. As it goes back to the right side, now back up top. Jarvis, he'll take a lefty shot, and that's blocked about 10 feet in front of Wells. Now the Gladiators will chip it towards the near goal line as they're trying to get to Kalen Lind, and it's knifed away as Grizzlies back behind their net. Luke Lemaster stops. Now he gets it back behind his net for Salem. Salem sporting a mustache. Grizzlies spread the ice. They're going to get fresh forwards as Salem will drop it for Shea. As we played 9 minutes, Shea will back it out to Salem, who moves to his right for Felton. Felton dances it for center ice. Now he'll move it to his right for Voigt. Voigt gets around the Gladiators defense. Sharp angled shot. Rebound shot to score! Ty Voigt gets his second of the year, and Utah takes a 1-0 lead. Boy, great job by Voigt. You know, we talked about the speed he has. He kind of reminds me a bit of Trey Bradley as Voigt got the puck, got behind Jarvis, skated in, and then looked for a wraparound. Voigt actually fed it to Christian Felton. Saved that puck as I think Felton got his first as a pro. As they showed the pass, and Voigt got around the net, looked like he fed it to Felton out in front, and if Felton got a stick in the way and got a stick on the puck, that's going to be Christian Felton's first pro goal. So Utah draws first blood with 10:50 left in the first period. Well, Atlanta had outshot the Grizzlies 9-2, but it's Utah that gets the first goal, although they do credit it to Voigt. According to the scorebook, so Voigt gets the second of the year. Felton and Salem with the assist. Christian Felton now with his first point as a Grizzly. He was a +2 last night, action deep into the Atlanta zone. As Voigt on the wraparound was able to find the back of the net. Puck back at center ice. Shea trying to carry it back in. Atlanta got him on the back check and took the puck away. Now Manning gets it back as he gets belted along the right point boards. As the Gladiators will chase after the puck. And now they cross center ice. Atlanta sweeps it back towards the left wing. Gladiators, Grizzlies will push it back ahead. Shea over the attack line, moves to his left. Grizzlies they tried to center it, but looked like Manning didn't get much on the puck. As Atlanta crosses center ice, they switch up skaters. As Mickey Burns dumps it in, number 7, he's got good speed. Burns, 5'9", 176 pounds. Puck towards the right side now, spins along the boards behind Utah's net. As Ends will pitch it back to center ice. And now it looks like it's going to be icing on the Grizzlies, and we have to pause, unfortunately. Internet's been so bad that the screen's been freezing every now and then, and unfortunately, in a game like hockey, as free-flowing as it is, you have to be able to get a continuous screen, and unfortunately, Flow Sports and the bad internet here at Maverick Center doesn't necessarily allow that. So we asked for quite a bit of patience, as unfortunately, this is not quite NHL standard, and that's the only standard that I care about. As the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone, 9:35 left in the first period. Draw is going to be over in the left circle. And the faceoff won by the Gladiators as they get it back to the high slot. Lefty shot saved by Wells. Bobbles it for a second. Gets to the near goal line and covers up and stops play with 9:29 left in the first. So it looks like there's a timeout on the ice. Ty Voigt gets his second in a Utah uniform with Christian Felton and Luke Salem getting the assists. Utah leads 1-0 on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
That's great to see Ty Voigt emerge. He now has a goal in back-to-back games. He got the empty netter with about a minute left in last night's game as Utah defeated Greenville 3-1. Voigt is in his second season in the league. He spent last year with the Cincinnati Cyclones where he had 8 goals and 29 assists in 63 games. Voigt signed with the Grizzlies on August 11th, And it's great to see the former Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick in action doing well. Atlanta wins the draw, tries to center it. Grizzlies drag him down. No call. Utah with great speed, crossing center ice, stepping over the offensive line towards the left wing. Messner's on the ice. He's out there with Friesen. Atlanta comes back up with it. They'll move it out to center ice. Grizzlies will loft it back in. Friesen chasing after it. As taking the puck is number 12, and that's Andrew Furiolo. Furiolo out of Montville, New Jersey, as the puck goes back into the Grizzlies zone. Atlanta tries to move one out in front. Grizzlies take it away. Neither team's committed a penalty yet. As Atlanta gets the puck left side, righty shot saved by Wells. That was taken by Ethan Scardina out of Bowling Green State University, first-year pro. Puck goes back towards the left side. Bodone loses the puck. Grizzlies slow it down. Lemaster fires it high into the air. It bounces at center ice. Now the Gladiators dump it in. Play stops, 8:31 left in the first period. Bodone wearing number 29. He's got an A on his sweater. Cody Sylvester is the Atlanta captain. Andrew Jarvis and Louis Boudon they're the alternate captains. Danny Genev will take the draw. The first-year pro out of Penn State. He's looking for his first point in a Utah uniform as Atlanta slaps it off the Grizzlies backboard, and it rolls on to Dylan Wells, who covers up as we get a whistle with 8:25 left in the first. If we're talking about creativity, and, if you're viewing the game on the audio channel here on YouTube, I would recommend looking up what the Atlanta Gladiators are wearing tonight. It's a very odd-looking uniform. There's a lot to it. Kind of looks like something Julius Caesar would wear back in the day. Genev will take the draw against Bodon as the draw won by Atlanta. They're in the offensive zone, skating from right to left. Utah leads 1-0. Felton takes the puck away as Felton picked up his first point in a Grizzlies uniform with the Voigt goal as Felton dumps it in. Now the Gladiators come back up with it as there's about 8 minutes left in the first period as Bodon gets it knifed away by Ricketts. And the Gladiators will reset deep in their own zone. Shoulder fake gets around Ness as a Gladiator as they try to get it towards Lind, who played with Red Deer in the WHL. Lind tries to move it out in front. Wells trying to locate it. Puck ends up to the right side. Righty shot kick saved by Wells. And the puck is cleared all the way into the Gladiators zone. So Atlanta will reset. Genev takes it away. Genev skates in. Abby had it poked away. Couldn't get a quite good enough to get a shot off. Now the Grizzlies wrap around. Backhand shot is blocked away as there's a collision as Grattan knocked down the Atlanta goaltender, and we play on. As the referee, Matthew Schreider, has really let them play tonight as Grattan skates towards the left corner. As Grattan drops it off, it rolls around the boards, right point, fires towards the net, and looks like it got saved by Hyder. Puck ends up back to the right side. Grizzlies will one-handed to the corner as Grattan in the area, but Atlanta gets there first. Gladiators will race out to center ice, 3-on-2. Atlanta skates towards the right side, tries to get around the Grizzlies. Centering pass is misconnected out in front of the Grizzlies crease. As Utah moves it back to center ice, Webster gets belted along the near wing wall as Atlanta will come back up with it. Isaac Walter, number 22, as Walter, first-year pro out of the University of Vermont. Atlanta skips it in. Grizzlies back the other way. Utah over to the left wing. It bounced off of Shea's stick. Shea will race after it as he got a piece of it, no icing. Atlanta back towards the far corner, deep in their own zone as they'll throw it from one corner to the other. As a Grizzly delivers a push on a Gladiator. And now Utah to the right side. They're trying to get the Shea. It's off a stick. Voigt, he's in the high slot. His righty shot's blocked away by an Atlanta stick. As Lemaster tried to shovel one towards the net, and it gets to Hyder, who makes a save in the crease and covers up with 6:05 left in the first. So Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. But one of the things that we've seen early on this season is the Grizzlies have done a great job winning the 50-50 pucks. They've done a good job with the puck, and they've been strong with the puck, and they've done a good job without the puck. Utah's made really good decisions so far, and they've had a lot of success. A 3-1 victory last night, and they've got a 1-0 lead as Ty Voigt got the scoring started about halfway through the first period with Christian Felton and Luke Salem getting the assists. Puck at center ice is Grattan. We'll get it back towards Garrett Pike. Now the Grizzlies with a long-range pass. It goes deep into the Gladiators zone. Looks like the puck got plenty of air under it while the screen was frozen. Gladiators try to get to center ice. They couldn't reach it, but no icing on the play. It might have redirected off a Pike stick as well as gets to Pike. We'll throw it from one corner to the other for Felton. Felton, 5:35 left in the first. Moving clock is Felton with a pass ahead, and the Grizzlies are able to dump it in. Couldn't quite see who it was that dumped it in at center ice. John Gillott's on the ice right now. He's been very active in this first period as he stands behind Ethan Hyder. As the Gladiators will initiate attack. Grizzlies take it away. Gillott will get it to the middle of the ice looking for Genev. It bounced off his stick. Now Genev gets it back right side, dangling. They'll take a lefty shot, and it goes just wide as he missed the net glove side on Hyder. Back to Genev behind the net. He's very crafty and creative with the puck. He gets to the Ness near goal line. Ness trying to get a cutter out in front of the net, but it glanced off a Grizzly stick, and it goes back to the Utah line. Ends will run it down as he gets ahead. Now Ricketts over the line, trying to pitchfork it ahead about 10 feet. Now the Gladiators will toss it ahead. It glances off a couple sticks. Grizzlies back up with it. As Utah will cross center ice. Stepping over the offensive line is number 6, Luke Salem. Salem dancing around. He's already got 1 assist tonight, bouncing off his stick. Puck plays Plinko a little bit off a few sticks, and Atlanta comes up with it. They'll carry it out to center ice. Grizzlies cut him off at center ice. Move it ahead for Ness, who will chase after the puck as Ness gets hit in the back, and he keeps getting held up. No call. We haven't had a single penalty yet as Atlanta comes up with the puck, and they'll get it down to center ice. Gladiators skate in. Puck ends up back at center ice. Unfortunately, bear with me, unfortunately, the screen keeps freezing every 15 seconds or so as the Gladiators backing out into their own zone. Less than 4 minutes left in the first period. As Gladiators dump it in, and got redirected at new tries. Wells will wheel it around the boards. As Gladiators back in the right point in the offensive zone, they'll spin it back around. Wells cuts it off behind his net. Wells is a very good athlete. 6'2", 190 pounds, and he's every bit of it. And he's very quick and strong as puck back at new tries. And the Gladiators will dump it back in. Wells plays it once again behind his net. Wells has played a lot of pucks behind his net here as Atlanta's really done a good job dumping it in on many occasions. Blue line to blue line pass. Gratton gets hit up high as Lebster chases after it. Goes from one corner to the other. Gladiators will loft it ahead. Puck bounces towards center ice off a Gladiator's stick. And Gratton takes Atlanta off the puck as he did a good job knocking down Alex Young, number 13. There's about 3 minutes are left in the first period. Lebster trying to corral the bouncing puck. Goes off his stick. And now Atlanta back up with a new try. They dump it in again. Grizzlies chasing after it. Colby Enns collects the puck, and he'll toss out the end boards. As Mickey Burns tries to play, he gets held up by a Grizzly. As Lebster delivers a push in the back. 2:46 on a moving clock. Utah comes out of the pile with the puck. Another 50-50 puck won by Utah. Manning out towards Enns. Around center ice, he'll whip it around the wall. Shea chases after it, no icing. It's Gladiators trying to pitchfork it ahead, didn't get very far. Ryan Nolan slides into the center ice logo. Utah takes control of it. As the Grizzlies dump it back in. As Atlanta dancing around, Utah's up 1-0. Last night it was the Greenville Swamp Rabbits that scored first. Grizzlies quickly responded with a tying goal 6.5 minutes in the first period. Atlanta plays golf as it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Now Shea comes up with it. Shea will drop it back for Salem, and he'll slide it behind his net for Lemaster. Lemaster feeds it towards the near side. It goes off a stick, but it was in Grizzlies territory. Atlanta chasing after it. No icing on the play as the Gladiators back up with it. Now they dump it in as Wells rolls it towards the left side. Shot saved by Wells. Shot was taken by somebody off the screen as there's 1:46 left in the first period. As they show Andrew Jarvis. It's interesting. Both number 6s in the game have mustaches. Luke Salem of the Grizzlies with a mustache, and Andrew Jarvis kind of has his police mustache working as well. And both of them are defensemen. So I guess there's the one coincidence that both teams have. I mean, both teams don't really have much in common, as we mentioned before the game. The only real connections that the Gladiators and Grizzlies have come from the Atlanta staff, where Jared Youngman's team president. He was with the Grizzlies for 23 years. And Guy Carenza, the new voice of the Atlanta Gladiators, he was with us for a couple seasons as my partner. And before the game, they had a moment of silence for Kevin Bruder, as obviously Bruder and Jared Youngman knew each other very, very well over many years. And I believe they had a moment of silence for Mr. Bruder before the game. Atlanta with a long-range pass near the Utah line, and that tips out of play as there's a minute 22 left in the first period. We'll try to describe the action when we can, unfortunately, with this frozen screen and the fast-paced, free-flowing action that is the nature of the sport of hockey. It just kind of is difficult when the screen's going to freeze every 15 seconds, and then you have 5 seconds where you just hope that nothing major happens. Genev will take the draw. He's out there with Ness and Ricketts. Grizzlies do have a pretty deep forward lineup. As Utah wins a draw, Genev gets tripped up. Is the call going to be made? No, it's not. Looked like Genev got tripped up, but we haven't seen a single penalty, and I'm not sure we're going to see many here this evening. As Atlanta behind Utah's net, as Winslow shadows Atlanta. Winslow played quite a bit against Atlanta as a member of the Orlando Solar Bears. As Ness looking nearby, as is Ricketts. And the puck is chipped back to center ice. Boy, there's another 50-50 puck along the boards that's been won by the Grizzlies. They've done that. They've done that last night, and once again this evening. They worked on that quite a bit in practice over the last couple weeks. As Atlanta will tap it off the glass, puck flies to center ice. As Lemaster near the area. And now puck goes back towards the Utah line. Lemaster will one-handed ahead. As Genev will dump it in. Puck goes towards the far corner and rolls behind Atlanta's net. It's cut off by Hyder as there's now 22 seconds left in the first period. Gladiators cross center ice, dump it as Wells will stick it to the right corner. Now 15 seconds left as Pike will bounce it off a Gladiator, and that was Mickey Burns. Both guys were number 7. As Gratton back along the boards as Pike in the area as well. 2-on-2 battle. Now the puck goes from the right corner to the left corner, and that will do it for the first 20 minutes over at Gas South Arena. As the Utah Grizzlies lead 1-0 on a Ty Voigt goal. He has a goal in back-to-back games. Christian Felton and Luke Salem picked up the assists. Atlanta had a strong shot advantage in the first half of the first period. Grizzlies responded with a few more looks in the second. So it's Utah 1, Atlanta 0. We'll go over the stats of the first period, and we'll also go over some scores from around the world of sports. And hopefully, somehow, some way, the internet here at Maverick Center will improve. We can just hope. Utah leads Atlanta 1-0. We'll come back and recap the first 20 minutes the best we can. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest lasting, best performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Welcome back to Maverick Center as the Grizzlies lead 1-0. Atlanta outshot Utah 14-6 in the first period. There wasn't a single penalty that was called, although there was a couple trips there that it seemed like probably could have been called, would have been called, but it looks like the referee is going to let them play here this evening. The only goal came at 9:10 into the first period as Ty Voigt got his second of the year. Christian Felton and Luke Salem with the assists. Voigt skated around on a wraparound towards the far side, and there was Felton in the area. For a second, I had almost thought that Voigt had gotten Felton out in front for the shot, but I guess Ty Voigt called his own number and ricocheted the puck in the back of the net. Voigt now has a goal in back-to-back games, and Christian Felton picks up his first point in a Utah uniform, and Luke Salem, who had 6 shots for the Grizzlies last night, I believe he also picks up his first point in a Utah uniform. Remember, he played in 2 games with the Grizzlies at the end of the 2023-24 season. Of the 6 shots, nobody has more than 1 for Utah through 1 period. Salem, Messner, Lebster, Lamaster, Gratton, and Voigt, each with 1 shot, and obviously Voigt's 1 shot found the back of the net for the Atlanta Gladiators, and there are 14 shots, 2 each for Jack Robilotti, also 2 shots for Andrew Jarvis and Cody Sylvester. Ryan Nolan and Kalen Lind also had 2 shots for the Gladiators, so 5 different Atlanta players with 2 shots on goal, and then 4 others with 1. Dylan Wells was busy in the first period, but he stopped all 14 shots, and Ethan Hyder saved 5 of 6 for Atlanta. And so Utah leads 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. It's a busy night of action in the league. 1 game has gone final. Fort Wayne defeats Kalamazoo 6-5. Bielek scored 3 goals for Kalamazoo, but it wasn't enough. The game winner for Fort Wayne was scored with 7 seconds left in regulation as McGarry scored 19:53 into the 3rd period. Fort Wayne wins a thriller 6-5. The game winner was scored with 7 seconds left in regulation. No score after 1 period between Norfolk and South Carolina. Also after 1 period, Maine leads Worcester 1-0. After 1 frame, no score between Orlando and Florida. Orlando outshot Florida 12-6 in the first period. Florida's got 2 different former Grizzlies on their roster in Taryn Pfizer and Kyle Betts. After 1 period, no score between Jacksonville and Greensboro. Greensboro, in their first game of existence, they outshot Jacksonville 15-8 in the first period. Late first period, no score between Toledo and Indy. That game played at Fishers Event Center in Fishers, Indiana, hometown of Mike Fulta. Savannah leads Greenville 1-0. Lapina scored for Savannah 4:37 into the frame. Remember, Greenville lost to Utah last night, and I keep saying Greensville as if there was an S in their name. There's no S in Greenville. Kansas City and Rapid City just getting underway. It looks like late first period, Wichita leads Allen 1-0 as Kyle Krenkovic scored 4:40 in. Krenkovic, a former Allen American. Wheeling has an early 1-0 lead at Cincinnati as they played 5 minutes, and Wheeling on the road leads by a goal. Getting underway in about 10 minutes from now, Iowa is at Bloomington, and at 8 o'clock, Idaho is at Tahoe. Tahoe won last night 6-3 over the Idaho Steelheads, and so Tahoe is 1-0 with Jackson Hibbert as their equipment manager. So that's the league scores. When we come back, we'll check in on some NHL scores and maybe go over some college football scores. There's a big game happening in the state of Utah in a few minutes, and that one, to say it's a big game would be an understatement as BYU takes on Utah at the top of the hour. It's the Grizzlies 1, Gladiators nothing. We're back in 2 minutes. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Maverick's new bean to cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
First intermission over at Gant South Arena, and the Grizzlies lead the Gladiators 1-0 as Ty Voigt scored 9-10 into the first period. Action across the National Hockey League. There's a few games that have already gone final. Sabres defeat the Panthers. How about that? How about that for an upset? The Sabres 3, Panthers 0. As Josh Doan, the former Utah skater, I would say he's a former Mammoth, but he played last year when they were the Utah Hockey Club. Josh Doan scored 2 goals for the Sabres. And how about that for an upset? Sabres 3, Panthers 0. As the Panthers, a 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions, go down. Owen Power had the 3rd goal for Buffalo. And so have a day, Josh Doan. I think Utah fans are certainly thrilled to see him have some success as Doan, obviously the son of Shane Doan, the Arizona Coyotes legend. And so Josh Doan scores 2 goals for the Sabres in their victory, 3-0 in a bit of a shocker against the Florida Panthers. Islanders get a 5-4 win over the Ottawa Senators. The game winner for the Islanders was scored 18:57 into the 3rd period by Anders Lee, who picked up his 2nd of the year. Devils get a 5-3 home victory over the Oilers. Jack Hughes had a big game as Hughes scored 2 goals. And the Devils come away with the 5-3 victory, even though Edmonton outshot New Jersey 30-23. Action later on today at 7 o'clock. The Hurricanes take on the LA Kings. And at 8 o'clock, Flames are at the Golden Knights. And also at 8 o'clock, Penguins are at the Sharks. As the Sharks last night were in the Salt Lake Valley, they lost to the Mammoth 6-3 as Nick Schmaltz had a hat trick, scoring 3 goals. Clayton Keller also found the back of the net, and Schmaltz had an assist on that Keller goal. So have a night, Nick Schmaltz. And guess who also scored? Liam O'Brien. That's right. Spicy Tuna gets on the board. Didn't score a goal last year, but O'Brien scored 16:09 into the 2nd period as the Mammoth go to 3-2 on the year as they defeat the Sharks last night 6-3. Game at 7 o'clock. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, will be in action. Colorado is 4-0-1 on the season. Boston is 3-2. Action currently going on in the NHL. Maple Leafs and Kraken are tied at 1. Morgan Riley scored 14:56 into the first period, and Shane Wright scored 7:29 into the first. So the Kraken scored first, and they're tied at 1 after 1 period. Also after 1, Canadians lead the Rangers 2-1. No score between the Wild and Flyers after 1 period. Flyers with 6 shots, the Wild with 3. Also after 1 frame, the Lightning lead the Blue Jackets 2-1. No score after 1 period between the Stars and Blues. Late first period, Jets lead the Predators 2-0. So that's the NHL scoreboard for this Saturday night. A big game in college football as BYU and Utah will do battle in about 10 minutes from now over at LaVell Edwards Stadium. Hopefully both fan bases will behave themselves tonight, and they certainly feature that quite a bit on Fox's Big Noon Kickoff show. Not only the rivalry, but just how heated and how hated the rivalry is. And that should be an interesting one, as BYU is actually a 4.5-point underdog. Utah comes in with a 5-1 record, and BYU is 6-0. So that should be a ton of fun. And it's certainly a busy day in the world of sports. The NBA will get underway next week. And certainly there's going to be some nostalgia with the NBA on NBC coming back, as the TV contracts have kind of changed a little bit. So the TV landscape of how you watch the NBA, it changes quite a bit. The NHL certainly has had a great partnership with TNT and ESPN, and things seem to be going pretty well for the National Hockey League. I'm not sure what they've got going on over in Atlanta. It looks like It looks like a scene in a movie sort of thing, but it looks like everybody's having a good time over at Gas South Arena. A lot of pomp and circumstance. It is the Gladiators regular season opener, and is the first game for head coach Matt Ginn as Gladiators head coach. And Matt Ginn just got the job this past summer. He had a pretty good playing career, did Ginn. And we'll go over that playing career a little bit later on, as he actually was a goaltender. Played in this league with Greenville and Kansas City. Played in 22 games of the Mavericks in the 2020-21 season, where he had a 9-9-3 record. Also spent some time in the EIHL with the Manchester Storm. Again, is a former Gladiator goaltender. He was a Gladiator starting goaltender for a couple years in the 2015-2016 season, as well as the following 2016-2017 campaign. He was an assistant coach with the Gladiators last year, and Matt Ginn is the first-year head coach for Atlanta. Last night, John Buchanan made his head coaching debut for the Grizzlies. Utah obviously picked up a 3-1 win. It's kind of interesting if we're talking about a bit of an identity. The Grizzlies had that identity, last year with a lot of speed, but they did have to improve on the defensive side of things, and it looks like the Grizzlies have done that. They've done a great job winning the 50-50 pucks. Every defenseman's done a great job, and really, if you think about it, Grizzlies are without two good defensemen in Aiden Hansen-Bukata as well as Noah Gansky. Gansky played last night, and he was replaced in the lineup today by Luke LeMaster, celebrated a birthday yesterday. And so it looks like the Grizzlies have a pretty solid defensive unit. Garrett Pike and Christian Felton. We over the years, the Grizzlies have had a lot of good, strong first-line defensive pairings. And it looks like Pike and Felton are as good as any of the Grizzlies have had over the last 10 years. And really, if you look at the forwards, I know there's been a lot of talk on the fan sites about, Dylan Fitz getting released. But the Grizzlies do have a lot of depth in the forward lineup. If you're talking about all 11 forwards, are capable of picking up big nights. John Gilotte's a first-year pro, and he looked like he made quite an impact in the first period. It seemed like every time my screen unfroze, there was John Gilotte either with the puck or making something happen. The forward line of Neil Shea, Luke Manning, and Ty Voigt's got a ton of speed. Jack Ricketts, another first-year guy that you almost feel like once he gets his feet wet in pro hockey, he's going to get rolling quite a bit. And once again, Danny Genev, and I was a little bit surprised he became available, as he was one of Idaho's best forwards last week in the preseason. Genev continues to make plays. He had a couple close looks in the first period. And so that line with Ricketts, Genev, and Ness, that's listed as the third forward line on John Buchanan's lineup sheet, and yet that's about as productive as you would see from some teams' first forward line. And then you talk about Gratton, Messner, and Lepster. There's a ton of speed and playmaking, and Shea, Manning, and Voigt. That might be the fastest forward line the Grizzlies have, although, the other forward lines are pretty quick in their own right. It's one thing to have speed and have fast players, but it's another to utilize that speed, and that's the thing I've liked over the first four periods of this regular season, is not only do the Grizzlies have good speed, but it looks like they're utilizing their speed and making the most of it. So it's been a ton of fun here, as the Grizzlies are almost halfway through the road trip, or halfway through the 3 games this weekend. Grizzlies will be on the road once again on Friday night against the Idaho Steelheads, but obviously with 4 days off after Sunday's game, Grizzlies can reset things a little bit. Don't forget, we are just 7 days away from the Grizzlies home opener at Maverick Center. That's going to be on Saturday, October 25th, as the Grizzlies take on the arch rival Idaho Steelheads. When we come back in 2 minutes, we'll have second period action as Utah leads 1-0. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
We're about set for second period action over at Gas South Arena. As the Grizzlies lead 1-0, Ty Voigt scored 9-10 into the contest with Luke Salem and Christian Felton getting the assists. Dylan Wells was busy in net. He saved all 14 shots, and Ethan Hyder of the Atlanta Gladiators saved 5 of 6. 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock on Flow Sports, and we've asked for a little bit of patience. Not only are we doing a remote broadcast, but my screen is freezing like crazy every 30 seconds, and so with a free-flowing game like hockey, unfortunately, it's difficult to pick up with the action, but so I have to pause every now and then and try to figure out what's happening with the frozen screen, but nevertheless, we'll try to have some fun as the Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the second period. Genev's out there with Ness and Jack Ricketts as the Gladiators skate into the offensive zone as Pike shields a Gladiator, as Ricketts will tap it back towards the right corner. As action in the Grizzlies zone, Utah with a 1-0 lead, although the Gladiators have a 14-6 edge in the shot count. Scrum along the right wing boards. Atlanta comes out with the piles. They throw it down the middle of the ice. Lefty shot and a score. Gladiators tie it up, and it's Anthony Furiolo, the 5'11", 180-pound defenseman. Furiolo finds the back of the net in his third full season as a pro out of Montville, New Jersey. Furiolo ties it up 27 seconds into the second period. As Gladiators came out with a puck, it was Ethan Scardina that centered it to Furiolo. As Scardina at the right goal line just got it up top about 15 feet in front of the crease. Furiolo, as he was falling down, fired a shot, and then he lost his stick on the follow-through. But Furiolo has a laugh on the Atlanta bench as he gets a pat in the back from the Gladiators coaches. And so Atlanta ties it up 27 seconds into the second period. Luke Manning will take the draw with Neil Shea and Ty Voigt, as the fans in Atlanta are having a good time. It's not quite a sellout, but it does look like a good crowd. Grizzlies won the draw, and they'll sky it into the Gladiator zone. Neil Shea chasing after it. Gets to Manning behind the net. Manning tries to bounce one out in front and goes to the left wing for Voigt. Voigt will pivot and skate back towards the high slot. He's a great skater. High slot. Righty shot. Save. Rebound shot. Oh, Winslow had a good chance, and he was denied by Hyder. Boy, great blocker saved by Hyder as Winslow had a good chance for his first goal as a Grizzly. As Atlanta will dump it in. Behind the net, Dylan Wells cuts it off. Wells spins it back around the wall towards the right side. Bouncing puck. Atlanta corrals it in the corner. Now the Gladiators try to center it. It's stuck away by the Grizzlies. Now high slot, righty shot. And that one flies off a Grizzly stick and it goes out of play off the protective netting. 18:52 is left in the second frame as we're tied at 1. Well, I know Ethan Scardina is going to pick up an assist on the Furiolo goal. We're not sure if there's going to be a second assist added to the Gladiators as we have a 1-1 tie early in the second frame. Looks like the other assist on the Furiolo goal is Chad Nychuk. Nychuk, number 39, as well as Scardina gets the assist on the Furiolo goal. Action deep in the Grizzly zone as Friesen hawks a Gladiator. Puck goes back towards the right side, not to be confused with the Atlanta Hawks. The NBA, they get underway next week, led by head coach Quinn Snyder, the former Jazz head coach. Grizzlies will battle as Luke Lemaster and Isaac Walter's a big guy, 6'4", 205. Scrum over in the corner. 4 Grizzlies in the area. Puck slides from one corner to the other. Loose puck. Grizzlies will move it out towards center ice. Ness trips up a Gladiator. No call. Now Ness gets hit in the back by Ryan Conroy and another Gladiator. Puck was around the blue line. Might have either gone out of play or maybe offside was called as the whistle blows with 18:15 left in the second. There hasn't been a single penalty called so far tonight. Grizzlies have only had 1 penalty kill so far this season. They had 4 power plays last night. Draw's going to come into the Grizzlies zone over in the left circle as Mick Mester and Reed Lebster talk strategy. As Garrett Pike, he played a ton of minutes in the opener last night against Greenville, and it looks like Pike is in there quite a bit here this evening. Tyler Gratton's also out there with Christian Felton. That's the party of 5 for the Grizzlies. As a draw won by Utah. As Grizzlies back towards center ice, Felton stops on a dime, gets around 1 Gladiator, blue line to blue line chip. He trying to get to Lebster, glanced up at his stick. Lebster trying to regather it, goes to the right point. Utah gets to Felton left side. He dances around. Now Felton will survey, shot, and it looks like the save was made by Hyder. They're going to show a replay, which is great because my screen froze. Felton fired to the net. Hyder made a body save about chest high. He was able to hold on. 17:58 left in the second. It's almost like the producer there in Atlanta knew that, all right, the guy in Utah didn't see it, so they showed the replay miraculously. So that was it. Felton shot from the left wing. Hyder made the save. Atlanta will skate along the near wing wall after winning the faceoff. They gain the center red line. They dump it in past Garrett Pike. Grizzlies chase after it. Felton in particular. Grizzlies come out with the puck as we play 2:15 into the second period. Grizzlies sky it at center ice. It bounces at neutral ice as Lebster tried to collect it. Now the Grizzlies enter with Mick Messner as he'll skate towards his left. Now near the left point, it's like a lefty shot, and that's kicked away by Hyder. Hyder was outstanding at times for the Gladiators last season. He didn't have a whole lot of help in front of him, but Hyder's a pretty good second-year goaltender. Gladiators lose it at center ice. Christian Felton, a great skater. He can stop on a dime and then start pretty quickly. Gets around 1 Gladiator, gets around a second as he gets over the offensive line. Now back to center ice as I missed action for about 5 seconds, but it looks like the Grizzlies have with Felton once again, gets around 2 Gladiators and just casually dumps it in as it's the end of a pretty good shift for Christian Felton, who was a +2 last night. Grizzlies center it, a bounce off a Gladiator stick. Hyder had to kick his right pad out. Now Atlanta will pitchfork it to center ice. It goes past Winslow. The Gladiator comes up with it, and that's Sardina, who's played a good game. Now the puck goes back to center ice and beyond, back into the Atlanta zone. Gladiators reset in a white jersey with a goldish beige. If you've ever been to Caesar Palace, it's kind of that style of color. Grizzlies have a kickoff of Wells, and Utah back on the attack. Winslow out to center ice. We'll move it to his right. Grizzlies dump it in. No icing. Genev chases after it. Gladiators get there first. Gladiators with a long-range pitch that goes to the Utah line. As Salem was over there cutting him off. Voigt in the area. As Sardina continues his battle, the Bowling Green product. Puck goes back to the Gladiators line. They come up with it. As Atlanta back in their own zone, they dump it in. LeMaster chases after it. He gets there as well as lets him play it. As LeMaster collides with a Gladiator. Atlanta back towards the left circle. Now they'll drop it to the middle of the ice. Backhand shot saved by Wells. Grizzlies will throw it towards the near wing wall and ricochets to center ice. Taking the puck is Ryan Conroy, number 8. As Conroy will move it ahead. He played with Adirondack last year. A lot of former Adirondack Thunder skaters on this year's Gladiators club. Big-time collision as the Grizzlies were trying to exit their own zone. Atlanta fires it back in as Wells behind his net. Now Manning has it as the Grizzlies loft it to center ice. Shea off his stick. Voigt chasing after it as Jack Robillati will roll it along the near wing wall. Now a turnover. Shea gets to Voigt. Voigt fires to Manning, and he gets knocked down as he was trying to accept the pass in the crease. No call on the play. Referee's letting him play. And not that there was one that needed to be made there. As puck along the boards. Shea gets in the left corner. He feeds up top to Pike, who gets it down the middle. As Christian Felton fires to the right side. Looked like maybe a Luke Manning one-timer. And Hyder made the save with 14:58 left in the second. So puck ended up to the right side. I think that was Manning that took the one-timer. We're really not sure, but Hyder was able to make the stop. Ethan Hyder, a second-year pro out of Maple Grove, Minnesota, 24 years old. Hey, he's born on September 4th. That's the same day I was born. He was born on September 4th of 2001. Me, it was slightly earlier than 2001 that I was born. Not going to say exactly when, but I am an old person. As John Gillot has a puck, skates towards the left circle. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. Gillot, the first-year pro out of Holy Cross in his second pro game, trying to get it to the middle of the ice for Friesen. It's stuck away by Atlanta. Now back behind the net, Gillot trying to feed Friesen out in front, and 3 Gladiators were in the area, and 1 Gladiator took the puck away. As we're tied at 1, I think that was Alex Young, number 13, another former Adirondack Thunder skater, second full year as a pro. As he dumps it back in, Hyder behind his net. Will roll it along the boards towards the right side. And now it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. As Winslow will get it from Wells. Winslow overskates it. He regathers the puck. He'll feed it towards the far corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. D to Winslow from ends. Winslow gets to center ice, and he'll drive it around the boards. As Atlanta, Mickey Burns, a former Mercyhurst product. Mercyhurst has seen a few former Grizzlies. I think Colby from the office. Kobe Leandro is a former Mercyhurst product. As the Grizzlies get it towards Grattan. Now the puck plays Plinko as my screen decides to freeze once again as we've got 13:42 on a moving clock. Now the Grizzlies play it deep in their own zone. Enns gets it back to Winslow. He's got pretty good speed. Winslow will tap it off the far boards over in the area, as Winslow kind of reminds me a bit of J.C. Broussard, who was with the Grizzlies a handful of years ago. Messner trying to chip one out in front. Nobody was home as the puck goes off the near wing wall. Atlanta taps it off the glass to center ice. Grattan spins it back near the Grizzlies bench. Messner gets it off the boards. Messner accelerates towards the far goal line. Now skates around the net, chips it to Grattan out in front. Grattan collides with a Gladiator. Puck goes back up top. Grizzlies get to the near goal line. Centering pass, Grattan shot saved by Hyder. As Atlanta will clear it to center ice. It ricochets off the far boards, run down by Luke Lemaster. Grizzlies have quite a bit of momentum here. Utah with a right wing feed that enters the zone. Geneva will skate towards the right side, centers it, and a shot by Ricketts, and a score! Save that puck, DJ McFarland, as Jack Ricketts gets his first pro goal, and just like that, Utah leads 2-1. Danny Geneva got the puck. Centered it to Ricketts, and Ricketts fired it stick side past Hyder. Boy, Jack Ricketts had an outstanding college career. Remember, he's the guy that scored 20 goals in 38 games at Quinnipiac University. Before that, he was a teammate at Holy Cross with John Gillot. In fact, he had a couple years at Holy Cross where he was an outstanding scorer. 2 years ago, Ricketts had 19 goals in 39 games in the 2023-24 season. The year before that, he had 16 goals in 41 games. In fact, Ricketts was a plus 22 in 38 games for Quinnipiac University last year. So how about that? First goal for Jack Ricketts, and for new equipment manager DJ McFarland, that's the first one he's going to have to save. That's the first time this season a Grizzly player has scored their first professional goal. Congratulations to Jack Ricketts, and it's a big one as Utah now leads 2-1. As Atlanta with the puck over in the far circle, Utah back up with it. Manning falls down, now falls down again. Atlanta gets to the left circle, now to the left goal line. Centering pass, shot and hits the side of the net. Boy, Atlanta doing a good job trying to recover in the following shift after a Grizzlies goal. Now the puck back at neutral ice as the Gladiators will reset, as Utah looking to keep that momentum after the goal gets scored. And we always talk about some of the most important aspects of a hockey game happen after a goal gets scored. What do you do the next couple shifts? You have to hand it to Atlanta. It looks like they're coming out strong, trying to get momentum back on their side. Grizzlies over the offensive zone as Ricketts, as he's falling down, gets to Geneva. Sharp angled shot from the corner, saved by Hyder, and he holds on. Danny Geneva got the main assist on the Jack Ricketts goal that was scored as Utah leads 2-1. We're back in 1 minute on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable, all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Utah leads 2-1 as Jack Ricketts gets on the board as a pro. 7-11 into the second period with Danny Genev and Luke Lemaster getting the assist. For Genev, that's his first pro point. And for Luke Lemaster, that's his first assist of the season. So great to see Jack Ricketts, and I believe he's going to be an outstanding pro. And we mentioned his credentials. The last 3 years at the college level, he was an elite goal scorer. And he was a great plus-minus player as well. A plus 22 last year at Quinnipiac. A plus 18 2 years ago at Holy Cross, where he played with John Gillott. And so, that kind of explains it. Not only can he score goals, but he also can play both ends of the ice. And that was one of the things on Content Day he talked about, is he likes to play that two-way game. He's got an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. And when you look on Hockey DB at his profile picture, his headshot, looks like he's wearing a Utah Mammoth jersey. And so welcome to pro hockey, Jack Ricketts, as the puck ends up on the near point. Atlanta comes up with it. They skate from left to right as we attempt to see the game. Atlanta, siren pass, righty shot, and that one misses the net. Boy, Gladiators had an outstanding look as they tried to find number 86, Ryan Francis, in front of the net. Now Gladiators back to the right side, now down the middle of the ice. As the Gladiators pivot, we're skating 5-on-5. Atlanta trying to slow things down and regain momentum. Louis Baudon will dump it into the right corner as he chases after it. 2-on-2 battle in the corner. Gladiators get it up top. Lefty shot ricochets off the end boards, and Wells will cover up with his blocker as the Gladiators are trying to hack away at him. But no score, and it's still a 2-1 Utah lead. Gladiators did a pretty good job getting some offensive zone time, and that's going to be one of the things you notice from the Gladiators as they are looking to make some improvements this season. As it's interesting when the Grizzlies scored both their goals, one in the first period and then one in the second. Atlanta came back with a little bit of resolve in that next shift to try to get the momentum back. Atlanta's one of those teams that had a little bit of struggle defensively, and it looks like the Gladiators, as are the Grizzlies, are trying to find a way to make some improvements from one year to the other. Gladiators back deep in their own zone. Ricketts holds his ground. Gillott, his former Gillott, the Holy Cross products. Now Ricketts gets it back towards the right wing. As not sure what happened as the screen froze for 6 seconds. Looked like a Grizzly was looking for a shot over in the far circle. As Gillott with the puck, he'll drop it for Ricketts, and Ricketts will fire it in, but it bounced off a Gladiator as it looked like Ricketts was trying to get it in deep. Atlanta back over the offensive line. Isaac Walter, the big 6'4", first-year forward out of Vermont, as Gladiators trying to center it to a cutter out in front. It misses wide, and the Gladiators will run it down back of their blue line as Atlanta gets knocked down near the Grizzlies line. Chasing after it's Evan Friesen. No call, as we've been playing 5-on-5 this whole time. Referee's just going to let them play this evening. As ends with a rink-wide feed, angle left. As it bounced off the Grizzly, as Tyler Gratton was trying to battle with Jack Robilotti, and it looked like one of the officials got in the way as Ricketts in the area, trying to get towards Messner, glanced off the Gladiator shin. Now Messner will sweep it ahead as Gratton will chase after it. Gratton played at Penn State and Arizona State. He was captain at Arizona State a couple years ago. Now a turnover. Messner back to the right side, dangling back and forth. And, unfortunately, my screen froze. Not sure what happened, but Gladiators come back the other way as they dump it in. Cipolone back around Utah's net as they'll get it back to the left side. Now up top, Gladiators in the offensive zone. Baudon gets around one skater, fires towards the net, and it's blocked away. Now Baudon gets it back. He feeds it back up top to Ryan Conroy. Conroy back around. Now he gets to Baudon. Right side. Lefty shot saved by Wells. Rebound goes towards the far wing wall. Chasing after it's Reed Lebster. Lebster dumps it in. Chases after it. And looks like Utah's called for icing with 9:22 left in the second. There's Chad Nychuk because they show him on Flow Sports, number 39. He picked up an assist in the Gladiators' early second period goal that was scored by Anthony Ferriolo. As looks like quite a good crowd over at Gas South Arena. Don't forget the Grizzlies have their home opener just 7 days from now as they take on the arch rival Idaho Steelheads. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com or call the Maverick Center box office There might be a timeout on the ice, and if there is, we'll take one. Well, sure there isn't. The faceoff's going to be in the Grizzlies zone over in the left circle as Messner will take the draw. This time it's won by Atlanta. Now back to the high slot. Lefty shot. That's blocked by Gratton. Grizzlies will chip it ahead. Gratton cut off by a Gladiator. No icing on the play. Utah's going to try to get a couple fresh skaters on the ice. Puck's deep into the Atlanta zone. Gladiators play their home games in Gwinnett, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta. Not nearly as much traffic, though. One of the former Atlanta broadcasters is Mike Folta, who's now the radio voice of the Utah Mammoth. Atlanta at center ice will play golf and lift it in, and Wells makes a save. 8:55 left in the second. I believe there's a timeout. It's the Grizzlies 2 and the Gladiators 1. We're back in 1 minute. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest lasting, best performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
It's Utah 2, Atlanta 1. First of 5 regular season meetings between the clubs. This is the 7th meeting all-time between the teams. Utah's 2-3-1 against Atlanta all-time. These teams will get very familiar with each other. 8:55 is left in the second period. Make sure to join us tomorrow afternoon for the last game of this quick 2-game set. After last night's 3-1 victory, Grizzlies made a bus ride of somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours from Greenville to Gwinnett, Georgia. Puck to the right side, and righty shot by Jack Robilatti's blocked before it gets to Wells. Puck lifts over in the near circle as Atlanta, good job by the Grizzlies boxing him out as Atlanta will sweep it back up top to the left point. Now back behind Utah's net. You got to bear with me a little bit. Unfortunately, my screen's been freezing on and off, so we are having a tough time at times controlling what we see. Sardina gets hit in the back 2-on-2 battle as the puck kicks towards the far circle. Geniev's got the puck. He's got great speed. He'll drop it off. Now Ricketts gets to the left side and trying to center it to Genev, and it's cleared away by the Gladiators. They did a good job anticipating the play. Grizzlies run it down deep in their own zone. Garrett Pike in particular, as his long-range feed is all the way down. Everybody stops. Looks like Utah's call for icing as everybody's skating back into the Grizzlies zone with 8:05 left in the second period. A couple of the fans, if you're watching on Flow Sports, they've got that capital G that kind of look like Utah Mammoth colors, but looks like that's the alternate jersey the Gladiators are wearing this season. I'm not sure if they're going to go with rock black, mountain blue, and salt white as the description of their colors, but the color is kind of reminiscent of it. As now the draws over in the left circle, Grizzlies up with the puck as we have less than 8 minutes left in the second period. Grizzlies sky it out to center ice. It's dropped by a Gladiator as Atlanta will spin it towards the near wing wall, chasing after it's Robilatti, and he'll chip it in. Wells behind his net, will bouncing off a Gladiators. The puck up in the opposite of the near corner. As taking the puck is Neil Shea. He'll skate towards the far corner, and he spins it back around. Utah chasing after it. Goes to neutral ice and all the way down to the center ice logo as the Gladiators will dump it in. Grizzlies, Garrett Pike chasing after it. Felton in the area as well. As now Utah's back up with it. Genev pushed to the near side. Voigt chasing after it, but the Grizzlies are called for offside with 7:19 left in the second. So it's going to be a neutral zone draw. Louis Baudon chasing after it with Voigt. And the Grizzlies, the great thing is the Grizzlies really have developed a bit of a defensive identity this season, but they've done so without sacrificing any of the speed that they've had over the last handful of years. And that's certainly a big factor as the Grizzlies can continue to play fast, but do so. We've seen the puck along the boards quite a bit here in the first 4.5 periods, and the Grizzlies have done a great job winning those battles. Off the draw, looked like Shea got hit with a high stick from Isaac Walter, but no call. We've been skating 5-on-5 this entire game. Puck deep in the Grizzlies zone, and Wells once again plays it behind his net. Looks like Wells has played the puck behind his net quite a bit here tonight in his Grizzlies debut, and he's done a great job of it. The Grizzly gets tripped up and neutralized. Once again, no call. And the referee, Brendan Schreider, is definitely going to let them play this evening. As now there's 6:47 left in the period. As Winslow with it, as he gets back checked, but he's strong with the puck as he'll bounce it to Manning as Gillot overskates it. Now Gillot gets it, and he'll pitch it to his right. Grizzlies will try to get it to Manning at the Atlanta lines. The puck got air under it. Now Manning gets it back. Oh, Gillot has it. Left side, he'll take a lefty shot, saved by Hyder. As Gillot trying to get the puck back in the left corner. He got it knifed away. Now it's back to the right point as Gillot chasing after a loose puck. Now back behind the net, over towards the right wing. Up top, Grizzlies dance around. Lemaster's righty shot goes wide. He might have just tried to get it off the Atlanta end boards anyway. It looked like more of a pass than a shot. As the Grizzlies, Gillot tried to jump off. I think we got a penalty. Grizzlies got caught making a line change. Gillot was near the bench area. Puck rolled along the boards towards the Grizzlies bench. And I think the puck kicked off of Gillot as he was coming off the ice. And I think we have our first penalty of the game, as I believe the Grizzlies might have been caught with 6. As they were in the middle of a line change, Gillot was coming off. And there's 5:56 left in the second period. As play is stopped, and it looked like the referee was signaling that there was too many on the ice. So Atlanta should be on the power play when we come back. Utah leads 2-1. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest lasting, best performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
So it's going to be an Atlanta power play as John Gillot represents the Grizzlies in the box, as the Grizzlies got a bench minor for too many men, and that was kind of an odd play, and I'm not sure that there was much the Grizzlies could have done about it. Gillot tried to come off the ice for a change, and the puck hit him as he was coming off, and so the Grizzlies just kind of an unlucky break. Atlanta is on the power play as they skate from left to right here in the second period, as Atlanta get back towards the right side. Now they get it up top. Nobody was at the left point, so the Gladiators will race back into their own zone to pick up the puck. Grizzlies have Reed Lepster out there on the penalty kill, as well as Pike. Not sure about the other 2 Grizzlies. We'll see once they emerge from the screen, as Felton's out there, and also Jack Ricketts. Gladiators dropping off, as Scardina, the Bowling Green product, now to up top, as Nychuk dancing around, gets to the right side. Lefty shot saved by Wells, as that shot was taken by Cody Sylvester, number 16. Felton in the area in the corner as he gets dragged down by a Gladiator, as Pike will cycle it along the far wing wall. 2-on-2. Grizzlies enter the offensive zone. They get to Ricketts down the middle, take a lefty shot, and a stick save by Hayter, as it looked like Ricketts had a pretty good look for his second of the game. Grizzlies had a good chance shorthanded, as Ricketts had a look from Reed Lepster, but Hyder was able to make a good stop. Back up top, Alex Young will get it to the right goal line. The Gladiators skate back towards the right side. Bodon gets to the right goal line as Bodon switches places with Lind. And now they're trying to get it back to Lind in front of the crease on a give and go. It's sticked away by the Grizzlies. Up top, Gladiators, high slot, lefty shot. Rebound shot goes wide. Less than 4 minutes left in the second period. Utah leads 2-1. Grizzlies are able to clear it out. We apologize for pausing. Unfortunately, my screen's been freezing periodically, and unfortunately, there's been some key moments that might have been missed. As the Gladiators back in their own zone, it looks like out of the box is John Gillott. Successful penalty kill by the Grizzlies. Voigt drops it between his legs for Manning. Manning overskates the puck as the Gladiators back deep in their own zone. As we got 3.5 minutes left in the second period, Utah leads 2-1. Ty Voigt scored a first period goal, and Jack Ricketts with a second period goal, his first as a pro. Voigt trying to get a bouncing puck as he swung and missed. Now firing towards the net. Salem, he got redirected by an Atlanta stick. Shea will skate to the right corner as he gets a screen from a Grizzly. Shea now to the high slot, moves to his left. Shea will bounce one to the right corner. As taking the puck off the boards is Luke Lemaster. Manning collides with a Gladiator out in front of the net. Now down the middle of the ice. Grizzlies didn't get much on a right wing lefty chip as Gladiators back in control of the puck. Less than 3 minutes left in the second period. As Grizzlies get it past Voigt. Young in the area. As he whips it around the wall. Friesen in the area, so is Voigt. Neil Shea as well, surveying, and Luke Salem. It's a scrum along the far wing boards. Grizzlies might lead the league in scrums along the boards. They've had quite a few here in the first 5 periods of the season. Now the puck goes towards the far corner, and that's where the scrum ends up. Salem hides behind the score bug with a Gladiator. Now Atlanta gets to the left side. Righty shot goes wide. They miss the net glove side on Wells. Atlanta trying to chip it back across, and Robilotti swings and misses. Now the Gladiators fire from down yonder, and Wells makes a save with 2:06 left in the second. And sadly, my screen's been freezing more in the second period and not less, as draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Dylan Wells has done a solid job here so far. Let's take a quick look at the stats so far of the first 2 periods, as there's 2:06 left in the second period. The shot count in the first frame, Atlanta won that battle 14-6, and the Grizzlies have a second period edge of 11-8. Atlanta's 0 for 1 on the power play. Grizzlies haven't had a power play yet. To recap the scoring, Ty Voigt scored his second of the year, 9-10 into the first period. Christian Felton and Luke Salem with the assist. Grizzlies led 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Anthony Furiolo scored his first of the year, 27 seconds into the second, with Scardina and Nychuk getting the assist. And then Jack Ricketts with his first as a pro, 7-11 into the second, with Danny Genev and Luke Lemaster getting the assist. It was Ricketts' first pro goal, and Jardine and Genev's first pro point. Puck at center ice, Friesen chasing after it. He overskates it as Mike McNamee, number 27, with the puck. Long-range pass, slides deep into the Grizzlies zone. Wells will let the Grizzlies play it behind their net as Pike with a long-range feed angle left. He got redirected at neutral ice. Hayter will play behind his net. As Grizzlies, there's a turnover. Grizzlies with it. Right side, lefty shot. That one's blocked away by Hayter as the shot was taken by Danny Genev, who seems to be everywhere for the Grizzlies. Big-time collision as Messner collided with Ryan Conroy. Messner, the Merrimack and Wisconsin product. As Atlanta dances around, they'll move it out to center ice off a Gladiator stick. Puck near the Gladiators bench at neutral ice, and Atlanta will drive it in. Puck to the right corner as Grizzlies will glance off a Gladiator stick. Gratton comes up with it. He gets it to Lebster. Lebster over the line, shuffles to his right, stops in the right point, gets it to Gratton. Across to Messner. He's down the middle of the ice, and he'll take a lefty shot. And I got blocked away. My screen froze at exactly the wrong time. Salem left wing, his shot's blocked away. As now it goes back to Salem, left side into traffic, shot safe. Lebster swung and missed as he had a good look at the near goal line. 23 seconds left. Atlanta will clear it out to center ice. As the Grizzlies reset, Utah whips it around the boards towards the near wing wall. Atlanta will shovel it out to center ice and goes back deep in the Grizzlies zone. Lemaster chasing after it. He gets a good back check from Atlanta as Lemaster goes down. Salem going after it. Puck goes into the near corner as Lebster and a Gladiator push each other. Brendan Less on the other side, four-year pro who played with Adirondack before. As linesmen step in, and that will do it for 40 minutes of play over at Gas South Arena. As the Grizzlies lead 2-1, the difference in the game is a Jack Ricketts goal that was scored 7 minutes into the second period. We'll come back and recap the first two frames and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. It's Utah 2, Atlanta 1. We're back in 2 minutes for the second intermission. You've been tuned in to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land
Maverick's new Bean to Cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
After 40 minutes of play over at Gas South Arena, it's the Utah Grizzlies 2 and the Atlanta Gladiators 1. Ty Voigt got Utah on the board 9-10 in, with Christian Felton and Luke Salem getting the assist. Utah led 1-0 after one period, despite the fact Atlanta outshot Utah 14-6. 27 seconds into the second period, the Gladiators got on the board as Anthony Furiolo found the back of the net. Furiolo from Montville, New Jersey, third-year pro, played with Atlanta and Toledo last year. As there was a battle along the board, Scardina came out of the right corner with the puck, and he found Furiolo down the middle of the ice. And as Furiolo took the shot, he was falling down, and then he lost his stick. But he was able to get enough of a shot off to get it past Dylan Wells, and that tied it up at 27 seconds into the second period. Scardina and Chad Nychuk with the assists. Then the Grizzlies got back on the board as Danny Genev had the puck over in the right circle, centered it to Ricketts. Ricketts was all alone, and he fired a lefty shot, stick side pass, past the goaltender, Ethan Hyder. As Hyder's in his second year as a pro, he's got an AHL contract with Milwaukee. And Ricketts has been an outstanding college performer over the last few years, and really the last 3 years. He's been a dynamic goal scorer, played at Holy Cross for 4 years, and then transferred to Quinnipiac University. And we'd already mentioned a few times the resume. He had a Quinnipiac where he had 20 goals and 7 assists in 38 games. He was also a plus 22. So he was getting it done on both sides of the ice. And at Holy Cross, holy cow, he had 3 really good full seasons, 10 goals in the 2021-22 season, 16 goals in the 2022-23 campaign. And just 2 years ago, as captain at Holy Cross, he had 19 goals and 16 assists. And that year, he was a plus 18. So Ricketts has got an AHL contract with Tucson, gets on the board for the Grizzlies this season. And Utah took a 2-1 lead, and that's where we sit after 40 minutes of play. There was 1 penalty in the second period, as Grizzlies were called for too many men on the ice. That was just a tough break where the Grizzlies were in the middle of a line change. Jalot was coming off, and as he was getting towards the door, puck was rolling along the wall and hit Jalot. And so, with them touching the puck there, Grizzlies got caught with 6. And so Jalot served the penalty. Grizzlies did a good job on the penalty kill. Unfortunately, my screen has been freezing more in the second period than it did the first, but it didn't look like Atlanta got that many good chances on their power play situation. Shots were pretty close to even in the second period. Utah had 12, Atlanta with 11. And so through 2 periods, Atlanta with a 25-18 edge in the shot count on the Grizzlies. Utah did have an edge in the shot count in last night's game as the Grizzlies outshot the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 37-26 in last night's game. So Grizzlies will have a lead heading into the third. And that's going to be an important thing. And really for a lot of winning hockey teams, they're able to not only get a lead going into the third period, but they're able to find a way to keep the lead. Normally with the playoff team or teams that end up in the playoffs, just about every year, you look at their record when they lead after 2 periods, and it's pretty close to unbeaten. And so for the Grizzlies, this is kind of a good example. They had a lead in the third period. Actually, it was a 1-1 tie going into the third. Then they picked up a lead in the third period and were able to not only hold on to it, but add to it with an empty netter at the end. This is a good situation here for the Grizzlies. They've got a 1-goal lead on the road. Can they find a way to hold on to it and, try to play good defensive hockey, but at the same time, try to be aggressive and look for that insurance goal if they can. So this is going to be a tough test for the Grizzlies in the third period, but we'll see if they'll come out on top. It's going to be a tough weekend. Remember, this is Atlanta's opener, and so tomorrow will just be the second game of a back-to-back for them. But for the Grizzlies, it will be the third game in 3 days tomorrow afternoon, and it's going to be a 1 o'clock start in the Mountain Time Zone, 3 o'clock locally in Atlanta. And so for the Grizzlies, obviously fatigue might play a factor there. And so with that in mind, that puts a little bit more emphasis on getting this game, knowing that, tomorrow Grizzlies are going to give everything they've got, but, might not necessarily have as much oomph and as much energy as you'd like to see, although the Grizzlies do train in altitude and they are one of the best conditioned teams in the league. So we'll see what happens in the third period. Grizzlies, as we mentioned before, have 18 shots so far tonight. Mick Messner and Danny Genev lead the way, each with 3 shots. Tyler Gratton and Ty Voigt with 2 shots and a bunch of other Grizzlies with 1 shot on goal. For Atlanta, their shot counts have been pretty even. Furiolo, who scored the second period goal, he's got 2 shots, as does Kalen Lind. Lind with the 3 shots, and Cody Sylvester, the Atlanta captain, he's also got 3 shots to lead the Gladiators. Dylan Wells has been solid in net. He has saved 23 of 24, and Ethan Hayter has saved 16 of 18. When we come back, we'll go over some ECHL scores as Utah leads Atlanta 2-1. This is the second intermission report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest lasting, best performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
After 2 periods, Utah leads Atlanta 2-1. Other action in the league, Fort Wayne gets a 6-5 victory over Kalamazoo. The game winner was scored by Megara of Fort Wayne with just 7 seconds left in regulation. Kalamazoo scored 4 third-period goals, but the final one was Megara, who scored 19:53 in as Fort Wayne defeats Kalamazoo 6-5. South Carolina gets a 2-1 victory over the Norfolk Admirals. Roman Rudzinski and Ben Howardchuk scored the South Carolina goals, and Grant Hebert had the tally for the Norfolk Admirals. Late third period, Maine leads Worcester 5-0, as Max Androv has one of the main goals. He was a superstar with Kansas City last year. Orlando leads Florida 3-0 after 2 periods. It's a little bit of a surprise. Florida's 1-0 on the year. Orlando is 0-1. After 2 periods, Jacksonville leads Greensboro 1-0. It's the first game in the history of the Greensboro Gargoyles. Late second period, no score between Toledo and Indy. Very few shots on either side. After 2 frames, a thriller. Greenville and Savannah are tied at 4. Cam Hausinger, who was one of Greenville's best players yesterday, he's got 2 goals. Patrick Polino and Stepan Timofeyev each have a goal for Greenville. Savannah's got goals from 4 different players. That's certainly a fun one. Greenville scored 4 goals in the second period, and Savannah had 1 goal in the first and 3 in the second. They head to the third period, tied at 4 over at End Market Arena in Savannah. After 2 periods, Rapid City leads Kansas City 3-1. As Blake Bennett has a goal for Rapid City. David Cotton has a lone goal for Kansas City. That game's at Cable Dahmer Arena. Rapid City leads after 2 periods, 3-1. Also after 2 periods, Wichita leads Allen 2-1. Kyle Krenkovic and Bronte have the goals for Wichita, and Braden Watts has the lone goal for the Americans. Wichita, Wheeling and Cincinnati are tied at 2. That game with 15 and a half minutes left in the second period. In a high-scoring affair in Bloomington, in Illinois, as Bloomington leads Iowa 3-2. Jackson's got 2 goals for the Bison, and Isaac Johnson, the former Newfoundland Growler, has one of the goals for the Heartlanders. And getting underway in about an hour and a half from now at Tahoe Blue Event Center, the Idaho Steelheads take on the Tahoe Night Monsters. It's a busy night in the National Hockey League, and we'll come back in 1 minute and give you some NHL scores. After 2 periods, Utah leads Atlanta 2-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest lasting, best performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, take on the Boston Bruins at 7 o'clock. That game being played in Denver. Avalanche are 4-1 this season. Boston is 3-2. Games in progress. Late second period, Kraken lead the Maple Leafs 3-2. Also late second period, Canadians lead the Rangers 2-1. After 2 periods, Wild lead the Flyers 1-0. Vladimir Tarasenko has the lone goal for Minnesota. Late second period, Lightning and Blue Jackets are tied at 2. Second intermission, Blues lead the Stars 2-0. Late second period, Jets lead the Predators 2-0. Games have gone final in the National Hockey League. How about this for a surprise? The Buffalo Sabres get a 3-0 home victory over the Florida Panthers. And Josh Doan, the former Utah Hockey Club player, can't say he's a former Mammoth. He was traded before the Mammoth's first game, but Josh Doan scored 2 power play goals for Buffalo. Owen Power also found the back of the net as Buffalo comes away with a 3-0 shutout at home against Florida. Islanders defeat the Senators 5-4 as the game winner was scored by Anders Lee 18:57 into the third. Devils get 2 goals from Jack Hughes. They defeat the Oilers 5-3. We mentioned the Avalanche, so take on the Bruins in about 10 minutes from now. Other games later on in the National Hockey League at 7 o'clock. Hurricanes are at the Kings, and at 8 o'clock, Flames are at the Golden Knights, and the Penguins are at the San Jose Sharks. Tomorrow afternoon, the Utah Mammoth will take on the Boston Bruins. That game being played at Delta Center. Face-off will be at 5 o'clock, so that should be a ton of fun. It's the Bruins' only trip to Delta Center all season long. Both the Bruins and Mammoth are 3-2, but Boston obviously takes on Colorado tonight. So tomorrow they'll be on the second night of a back-to-back. Other NHL action tomorrow at 10 o'clock, the Canucks take on the Capitals. At 1 p.m., Oilers are at the Red Wings, and at 5 o'clock, the Ducks are at the Blackhawks. Well, we'll see if the Grizzlies can hold on to this 2-1 lead and maybe add on to it in the third period. And so you can almost guarantee that the next goal is going to be a huge one. Can the Grizzlies get some insurance and make it a 3-1 game, or is Atlanta going to come out with some authority and tie it up at 2? Remember, Atlanta scored in the first 30 seconds of the second period. We'll see what the Grizzlies do in their first few shifts in the third. We'll come back and have third period action on the other side, at least if we can, unfortunately, with the internet issues here at the Grizz Cave. And I thought the Grizz Cave had great internet, but I guess tonight it doesn't work. So we have to rely on Wi-Fi, and I don't think the Wi-Fi has done its job, as the screen, unfortunately, consistently has been freezing every 30 seconds for about 4 or 5 seconds at a time. And, unfortunately, it's been tough to get a good flow as to how to describe the game. But nevertheless, we're having some fun here on a Saturday night. We'll see if the Grizzlies can go to 2-0 on the young season. We'll have second period action on the other side. Once again, Utah leads Atlanta 2-1. We'll come back and have the third period as you've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Grizzlies lead 2-1 as both teams are coming out of the tunnel ready for the third period. More hockey after this.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Are about set for a fun third period as Utah has a 2-1 lead. Ty Voigt scored a first period goal, 9-10 in. And then obviously Atlanta responded with a goal early in the second period. Anthony Furiolo scored 27 seconds in. Jack Ricketts got his first pro goal, 7-11 into the second period, with Daniel Genev and Luke LeMaster gained the assists. Grizzlies to start the third period. We'll have Ty Voigt out there with Neil Shea and Luke Manning. And it looks like a different philosophy for the Grizzlies this year. Normally, in past years, the starters would start every period. It looks like we've seen different skaters out there to start each period. And to start the second period, looked like it was Genev, Ness, and Ricketts. And looks like this time it's going to be the line of Shea, Manning, and Voigt. As looks like a pretty good crowd over at Gas South Arena. A variety of jerseys. There's one row where you got a Penguins, Avalanche, and Kraken jersey, and it looked like a Winnipeg Jets jersey. So 4 different NHL jerseys. Atlanta a couple times has had an NHL team. They had the Flames before they moved to Calgary, and the Thrashers before they moved to Winnipeg after the 2011 season. As draw is won for the third period by Atlanta. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the third period. Puck towards center ice. Voigt shields Atlanta from the puck. Shea joins the play. And now Shea skates around the net as Utah gets up top. Felton fires towards the net. It goes wide. Felton looking for his first goal in a Grizzlies uniform. He did pick up an assist on the Voigt goal in the first period for his first Grizzly point. Utah whips it around the boards deep as Atlanta cuts it off behind their net. Grizzlies retreat defensively. 30 seconds into the third period, Gladiators will dump it on to Dylan Wells, who will kick it with his pad all the way towards the far wing. As Grizzlies get it back towards Pike. Pike in the right corner, which is the far side. Now to the right point, as there's a shot by the Gladiators. And unfortunately, a screen froze. Couldn't tell what happened to it. Gladiators back to the right side. Shot saved by Burrells. Rebound shot. Oh, great defensive play by Voigt as he dove in front to make sure to block the grade A chance by Atlanta over to the left wing. Good job by Voigt. He's played a strong two-way game. High slot lefty shot, glove saved by Wells. He holds on with 18:53 left in the third. Boy, puck ended up kicking towards the left wing, and a Gladiator had a great chance. And Ty Voigt saved the day as he blocked a shot, as Wells had to sprawl towards his right and probably couldn't have gotten there in time. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Gladiators, but still a 2-1 game. Grizzlies have really been on point and assignment sound defensively. Messner wins the draw in his own zone. Grizzlies will tap it off the glass. Puck lifts towards center ice as Atlanta towards the center ice logo will backhand it in. Colby Ends chasing after it. He's a pretty good skater, 6'2", and looks to be a defenseman that plays a good all-around game. Out of neutral ice, Gladiators as Gratton's stick flies into the air as it bounces in the Gladiators zone. As now Atlanta will cross center ice. Grizzlies build a wall at their blue line. Atlanta will slide it in from the middle of the ice all the way to Wells, and Wells covers up with 18:25 left in the third. So Atlanta will have an offensive zone draw. Grizzlies really getting it done defensively as Voigt with a blocked shot and McMaster winning the draw after that. Grizzlies won their fair share of faceoffs here tonight. Not too many connections between the Grizzlies and Gladiators. There is a few connections, though, between professional hockey in Utah and Atlanta. As the Grizzlies win the draw, they'll bounce it off the boards. Puck goes towards center ice. Utah chips it ahead to Shea. As Shea skates, dangling back and forth, stops on a dime before it gets to the right corner. Up top for Ends. He'll take a shot, and that's blocked before it gets to Hyder, the goaltender. Hyder in his second year with the Gladiators. As a battle, Gillot tried to center it to Freese, and it's picked off by Atlanta. As Grizzlies back defensively, Utah picks off a puck at center ice, and Lemastro will move it ahead as he tried to get towards John Gillot. As the Gladiators back deep in their own zone, cross center ice. Friesen loses his stick. Atlanta gets around three Grizzlies. They fire towards the net, and that's blocked. As Grizzlies look like they might be shaken up on the plays to get back up on the right side. As puck ends up back along the right wing boards. Gladiators now pedaled to the high slot. Shot and a score. It looked like Wells got screened out in front. Chad Nychuk fired towards the net. And I'm not sure if it got redirected on the way as the Gladiators tie it up at 2 with 17:32 left in the third. Nychuk says he didn't get it as he was moving towards his left, got to the high slot, just kind of a quick wrist shot. And can't see where the puck ended up. Puck ended up in the back of the net. Can't see if it got redirected. They get in front of the net and it got kicked. I'm not sure if that's a kicking motion, but it did glance off the lower body of a Gladiator. Now, one thing to keep a note of, there is no video replay. Apparently, the replay system is not working in Atlanta. So it doesn't matter if it looked like a kicking motion. It did look like it glanced off a leg. They can't review it. Apparently, replay is not working this weekend in Atlanta. Not that it looked like there was a distinct kicking motion towards the net anyway. So we're tied at 2, about 3 minutes into the third period. As Garrett Pike with the puck, he'll slice one ahead. As Grizzlies get it towards Voigt. Now make that Genev. Genev wearing number 26. He gets around one Gladiator, skates towards the near goal line. Now Genev back to the left side. He is so quick and fun to watch. He gets it back up top to Felton. Over to the left side. Grizzlies dangling back and forth. As the puck slides back towards Genev. East to the right corner. Now he feeds up top to Pike. We'll move it over to Ness. Ness gets it as he tried to get it across to Felton. Felton had a glance over his stick so he gets it off the boards. Felton lose the puck back to new try. He'll regather it as the Grizzlies reset. Felton gets the pike on the right side at center ice. Ahead to Geneva at the Atlanta line. He'll drop it off as the Grizzlies get it towards Felton, who gets it off the far wing wall. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. As actually left to right, Felton. He fires towards the net, and that one gets redirected. Couldn't see where that shot ended up, unfortunately. It's Gladiators. Move to neutral ice, and they'll drive it in. Winslow behind his net, corrals a bouncing puck. Stops, reverses his field, spins it back along the near wing wall to Shea. Shea to the middle of the ice as it's poked away by Atlanta towards the corner. Gladiators get there before ends. As Atlanta back towards the right side. Now Ends gets physical and takes Atlanta off the puck as they're trying to play it behind Wells' net. Grizzlies spread the ice as they get out towards center. Neil Shea with it as he gets belted by a Gladiator as he was trying to jump over them to get to the corner. Shea back up as Atlanta with the puck. Shea on the back check trying to chase after him as the Gladiators cross center ice. Now Atlanta gets around one Grizzly. Now skating in, lefty shot saved by Wells. And he holds on with 15:23 left in the third. Oh, it looked like a Grizzly tripped over the blue line and fell down. Atlanta was able to get around him. And it was one-on-one between the Gladiator and Dylan Wells. Wells makes a big stop to keep it a tie game. So Dylan Wells, like Dryden McKay last night, McKay was solid, stopping 25 of 26. And Wells has been solid so far. We're tied at 2 as the Gladiators' second goal. We'll see if we can get an update on that as Mick Messner will take the draw against Anthony Furiolo. Atlanta's goal was scored by Furiolo. In fact, Furiolo appears to have both of the Atlanta goals. He scored 2:28 into the third with Alex Young and Chad Nychuk getting the assists. So Furiolo has both the Atlanta goals, Ty Voigt and Jack Ricketts with the Utah tallies. 15:05 on a moving clock. Grizzlies get to Felton at center ice as Felton back at the Utah line. And we do like to paint a little bit more of a picture, but unfortunately our picture isn't continuous and free-flowing as the game is. As Atlanta out to center ice, they tried to pitchfork it ahead. It got about 5 feet. Now Atlanta drives it in. Wells behind his net. We'll get it back towards the far side as there's 14:45 on a moving clock. Grizzlies out to the neutral ice, trying to get towards Messner. It's picked off. Now Grizzlies get it back. Colby Ends walks down the middle of the ice. He'll move to his right as Manning stops in the right circle, gets to the corner. He gets up top. He tried to find a Grizzly defenseman that goes past him all the way down deep into the Grizzly zone. Puck ricochets off the corner. Now behind the net, Wells will drop it off. Grizzlies slowing things down as Utah gets it towards Colby Ends. Ends outlets it to center ice. Right side, it got redirected to neutral ice. As Friesen and Ricketts make that Jalot chase after it. Puck was cycled back around along the near wing wall, deep into the Grizzlies zone. Ends will run it down. We played 8 minutes of this third period, or 6 minutes of the third period. We're tied at 2. Grizzlies have a pass picked off at center ice. Atlanta dumps it back in. Ends along the end boards as Utah gets engulfed by a Gladiator as Ryan Nolan holds his ground, number 24 for Atlanta. Winslow in the area. As now Atlanta, right side. That shot goes wide as unfortunately had some freezing. As back around towards the right corner. And Atlanta will cycle it back to the left point. Gladiators now spin it back around the boards behind Utah's net. Ness delivers a push on a Gladiator towards a glass. Now back to the left corner. As Jalot knocks down a Gladiator and lays on top of him. He's trying to break free a Gladiator. Grizzlies come up with the puck. Griffin Ness will get to neutral ice. And he'll dump it in and chase after it. As Ness over in the right corner, dancing around as he's double teamed. Ness trying to get it up top, and the Gladiators take it away. As Atlanta will bounce one towards their bench area. Grizzlies up with it. They skate towards the left corner. Pike tried to jump around a Gladiator. It goes from one corner to the other. As a big-time hit delivered by Ness on a Gladiator. As Atlanta will move it out to center ice. Back defensively is Genev, and he knocks it away from a Gladiator. As the Grizzlies come up with the puck, Atlanta makes a line change. 12:28 left in the second period, or the third period. As Grizzlies back towards the near side, Felton dancing around. Now Felton fakes to his right, gets it to Voigt. His shot's blocked by a Gladiator. It goes back to center ice. Utah tries to find Jack Ricketts. He couldn't reach it. Gladiators, rink-wide feed, angle left off the boards, and whipping it around the boards is Scardina. Make that Mike McNamee, number 27. As Voigt over in the left corner, he gets a good shoulder check from Cody Sylvester. Sylvester, the Atlanta captain, one of the best players in Atlanta team history. Felton at the Utah line, gets to center ice. Ricketts dumps it in. Grizzlies make a full line change, although Voigt stays out there. As 11:38's on a moving clock, third period, Atlanta will bounce it in. We're tied at 2. Glance off of Winslow's stick. It goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Atlanta cycles it around to the right side. Grizzlies poking out to center. Voigt with the puck. He's got a goal in both games this season. Voigt dances around, drops it off for Manning. As Manning skates towards the right side, gets up top. Ends. Over to Winslow. Now back deep into the Gladiator zone. As Utah moves it back, cycling towards the right corner. Atlanta gets the puck. Grizzlies retreat defensively. Out to center ice. Atlanta, did they get a piece of it? Apparently they did. No icing as Winslow will sweep it along the near wing wall. Grizzlies dancing around. 10:55 left in the third period. Reed Lebster will carry it out to center ice. Tries to negotiate his way around 2 Gladiators, but he loses control of the puck. As Messner delivers a hit. And now there's 10:41 left in the third. Grizzlies up with the puck. Messner crosses center ice, gets around 2 Gladiators, gets to the left circle, takes a lefty shot, it goes wide. Arm is raised by the referee as Lemaster gets it to the right goal line. Ness tries to feed it out in front as Messner look to get it back cross ice to the left point. Atlanta touches up, and Utah's going to get their first power play of the game. Messner flexes his stick on the ice to see if it's broken. Utah had 4 power plays last night. They ended up 0 for 4. And tonight, they get their first power play with 10:24 left in the third. Timeout on the ice. We'll see if Utah can take a lead. Right now, we're tied at 2 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Now the Grizzlies get their first power play of the game as Isaac Walter got a slashing minor, 9:36 into the third period. Grizzlies will start their power play. Watch out for Danny Genev. He's out there with Manning. Pike, Shea. Grizzlies win the draw. Pike gets over to Shea on the left side. They'll back it up top to Pike, across to Voigt in the right wing. As now the puck's over in the right corner. Up top to Pike. Pike to Shea, left side. Shea with a lefty shot, and that one's blocked. It got chipped before it got towards Hyder. And now we get a whistle over in the right corner. And Les decides to take liberties with Tyler Gratton. Well, it looked like Brendan Les and Tyler Gratton started grappling over in the right corner. Les looked like he got a couple rights in on Gratton with his glove on as he stopped play with 10:02 left in the third. As they show the replay, Gratton and Les, and then Les took a push on Gratton. And then Gratton and Les continued to push each other. Both guys grabbed each other's sweater. And then the linesman stepped in. So we're halfway through the third period. Les goes 6'1", 180, and Grattan is 6'2", 187. So Grizzlies still on the power play. According to the score bug, there's still 1:38 left in the power play. Grattan will take the draw against Carson Denomi. Denomi used to play with Tulsa. As draw won by the Grizzlies. Pike gets Deshay back to Pike up top, across to Voigt. Voigt just outside the right circle, gets to Pike. Down the middle of the ice to take a lefty shot that's blocked. Grattan in front of the net, trying to redirect it as he continues his battle with Les. Left side, Pike with a shot, saved by Hyder. And Les with a bear hug on Grattan as both guys stare each other down, and they hold on. As Tyler Grattan continues to battle out in front of the net. That's going to be his role on Grizzlies power plays, as he's going to be that guy in front of the crease initiating action. Grattan did lead Reading with 20 goals last season, and he's a big presence. 6'2", they list him at 187 pounds. He looks stronger and bigger than that. Grizzlies switch things up as Messner will take the drawings out there with Ness, Ricketts, and Manning. Up top, can't tell who the defenseman is, but Atlanta gets the puck there towards the right corner as Messner delivers a hit. Salem's the defenseman. As the puck goes back to neutralize, Grizzlies re-enter from the left wing. As Manning skates towards the left corner, trying to overpower his way around a Gladiator. Now Messner battles on the right side along with Griffin Ness. Now the Grizzlies come up with it as Ricketts chips it across to Manning. Manning fakes it to Salem. Now gets it across to Ricketts. Bouncing puck. Ricketts gets it off the right wing wall as Ricketts dancing around. 47 seconds left in the power play. Ricketts up top to Salem. Across to Manning. Left side. Manning dancing around as he gets towards the left corner. Now he gets the Messner behind the net over to Ricketts. Right circle. He feeds up top to Salem. But Salem, as he was skating towards his right, puck ended up towards his left. He couldn't retreat it. And now the Grizzlies re-enter as the puck exited into the Grizzlies zone. Utah gets it back to Salem. He's over in the left point. Stops. Gets to Ricketts on the right side. Now up top to Messner. Back to Ricketts, who dances around late in the power play. 12 seconds left. It's the right goal line. Now back to Ricketts. It goes past him. And now it's Manning who keeps it in. Over to Ricketts. Ricketts over to the right corner. He scored his first pro goal in the second period tonight. Ness in the area. 2-on-2 battle in the corner. Ness back up top. The power play is over. And coming out of the penalty box is Isaac Walter. Grizzlies back in their own end. 8:15 left in the third. Both teams are 0 for 1 on the power play. As Ness dances around in the Gladiator zone. Rolls the puck back around the boards. Gladiators come up with it. Grizzlies retreat defensively. Anthony Furiolo has both of the Atlanta goals. Grizzlies have goals from Ty Voigt and Jack Ricketts. Voigt a first period goal, and Ricketts scored in the second period. Long range feed as they try to get it to John Gillott. It goes past him as it's deep into the Gladiator zone. 3-on-3 battle along the right wing wall, and it goes back to the Gladiators. Chad Nychuk, who's got 2 assists tonight, won the battle. Now McNamee collides with a Grizzly at center ice. As back towards the right. Righty shot by Atlanta misses wide. As the puck slides back towards the far corner in the Grizzlies zone as Wells looks over his left shoulder. Another scrum along the boards as Friesen, Enns, and Gillott battle with 2 Gladiators with Cody Sylvester looking nearby. As the screen freezes for 6 seconds and they're still battling over along that wall. As Evan Friesen back in the area. Now back behind Utah's net. A Grizzly gets hit. Less than 7 minutes now left in the third period. As Grizzlies, Genev, he gets blasted along the boards by Gladiator. Left point. Lefty shot goes wide. That was Furiolo looking for a hat trick as he flexes his stick. 2-on-2 battle continues over in the right corner. As if you like a rugby scrum, if you like those battles on the boards, this is the game for you. Grizzlies moving all the way deep in the Gladiator zone. As Atlanta back to neutral ice. Neil Shea takes it away at the Utah line, gets to Voigt. Voigt will bounce one into the Gladiator zone towards the left corner. Manning out with it, so is Voigt. Shea in the area. Lemaster looking nearby as well. And there's another battle along the boards, as we've had that continually here tonight. Manning and Voigt continue to jostle for position. Shea continues to survey. Now coming out of the pile, Gladiators will loft it ahead. Now it's taken back by Lemaster. As Lemaster tonight's been paired up with Luke Salem. LeMaster, rink-wide feed goes wide. Gladiators chasing after it, no icing. As Atlanta gets to neutral ice, and they'll move it in. Does number 8, Ryan Conroy, who's 5'9", 185 pounds. Conroy played with Adirondack previously, second full year as a pro. Utah with a 2-on-1. Grizzlies get it to Ricketts. As Ricketts couldn't do much with it as the screen froze, and Ricketts back to the right side. His shot, and that one's blocked away by Hyder. Actually looked like Gratton took the shot with 5:20 left in the third. And we're still tied at 2. Timeout on the ice. Unfortunately, my screen is kind of glitching back and forth and haven't been able to see the whole action. We'll see who gets the victory tonight. We're tied at 2 with 5:20 left in the third. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Now it's the Grizzlies 2 and Anthony Ferriolo 2. As Ferriolo has both of the Atlanta goals. He tied it up 2:28 into the third period with Young and Nychuk getting the assist. Nychuk with 2 assists for Atlanta. Ty Voigt scored 9:10 into the first period with Christian Felton and Luke Salem getting the assist. Jack Ricketts gave Utah a 2-1 lead. He scored 7:11 into the second with Genev and LeMaster getting the assists. Atlanta has outshot Utah 29-22. Messner and Genev each lead the Grizzlies with 3 shots. Messner will take the draw. It's an offensive zone face-off for Utah. As a draw, though, won by Alex Young and the Gladiators, and they'll clear it out to center ice. Atlanta chases back after it. They're in the offensive zone. Right side, sharp-angled shot goes wide. As it looked like it just went through the front of the crease. Now the Gladiators down the middle. Shot kick save by Wells. Boy, Atlanta had a good opportunity down the middle of the ice on a righty shot. Wells made a nice kick save. There's less than 5 minutes left in the third period. Grizzlies clear it out as Hyder plays behind his net, and he'll drop it off. As Gratton chases nearby. As the Gladiators outlet it to the left wing. As they cross center ice and skip one in, Wells gets a stick in the way. As Winslow runs it down. So he'll push it towards the far side. Grizzlies get it back towards Winslow as there's 4:29 left in the third. Grizzlies dump it in. Voigt chases after it. Puck slides towards the near side. One of the officials tries to jump out of the way. Another scrum along the boards. Now the puck will slide to center ice. Grizzlies, Winslow extends his stick, and he'll drive it back in. 4:13 on a moving clock. We're tied at 2 as Atlanta out to center ice. It goes past Manning, who tried to one-hand it. Atlanta into the offensive zone 2-on-2. Grizzlies will move it back towards center ice. Shea and Voigt in the area as Atlanta moves it back in. Unfortunately, my screen's been freezing every few seconds, so it's tough to put together a pretty good flow when things just kind of stop when they want to. As Grizzlies out to center ice, they get it towards Shea. He'll dump it into the left corner. Shea gets it back, and he'll move it back to Griffin Ness. Ness pushes it up top to Pike. Pike tried to pitchfork it back to Ness. Atlanta picks it off. Now Genev picks Atlanta's pocket. Steps over the offensive line, falls down, gets back up. Genev back towards the left point as he gets nudged down. As Atlanta comes up with it. Looked like Atlanta was pursuing towards the Grizzlies zone and then stopped to retreat. And the Grizzlies back deep in their own end. As Genev didn't get much on as he tried to bounce one to center ice. Atlanta pushes it back in. Wells behind his net cuts it off. Grizzlies race to Christian Felton as he'll tap it off the far wall. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Utah over the offensive line. Ricketts left wing lefty shot, and that one misses wide. Hyder might have gotten a piece of it as Utah gets to Felton. As Felton dances around. as he stops, reverses his field. Puck back to the right side. Messner rolls it around. Ricketts cuts it off in the left wing. He'll push it to the corner as Grattan gets to Messner. As Messner gets knocked down. No call on the play. Both teams have only had one power play. Atlanta will fire it off the near wing wall. And dangling with the puck back and forth is Mickey Burns. He'll step over center ice and dump it in. Wells lets it go to the corner. As the Grizzlies back around. 2:20 on a moving clock, third period. As Atlanta took it away from Utah, action deep in the Grizzlies zone. Atlanta gets to the left side. Lefty shot saved by Wells. That shot, I believe, was taken by Jarvis, number 6. Jarvis gets it back. He's in the left point. Fires to the net and is blocked about 10 feet in front of the crease. Grizzlies moving out to the right corner. Voigt gets the puck. He tried to loft it to the right point. Gladiators keep it in. Now it goes to center ice. Utah steps over the offensive blue. Gets to Voigt. As Voigt's over to the right wing. And after my screen froze, they stopped play. So it looks like Voigt was in the right side, and puck ended up to Hyder's glove. Couldn't quite tell what happened as Voigt had the puck at the right goal line, and then the next frame I got, Hyder was holding on to the puck. So good opportunity for the Grizzlies there. Utah looking for some offensive zone time. They've got Shea, Manning, and Ness. That's the 3 forwards with Manning taking the face-off. Utah is rolling with 11 forwards, and so they're switching it up as it seems like all 11 forwards are getting pretty close to even playing time. Grizzlies are pretty deep in the forward slots, not only with the 11 tonight, but you think about the scratches. They're 3 pretty good forwards from Rylan Kovacevic, Maxime Barbashev, and Adam Berg. The Grizzlies rolling with 14 forwards on the roster. As Ness will take the face-off after Manning was kicked out of the circle. Atlanta wins the draw. And definitely here you can say the next school will win this thing. And we talked about that at the start of the third period. And Atlanta did get that to tie the game. Grizzlies moving out to center ice, and the Gladiators will run it down. Atlanta will chip it towards their left as it glanced off a McNamee stick. Puck ends up in the left corner. Grizzlies deep in their own zone as Salem. He gets knocked down as he was trying to feel the puck. As Ness over in the area as well. Salem trying to get back to his feet. Shea in the area as well. They stop play with 1:10 left in the third. As Ness and a Gladiator collide. That's Cody Sylvester, the Atlanta captain. As a linesman separates them. Salem gets back to his feet. As Salem trying to get towards Ness, kind of held on to it for a while, and Sylvester just hit him up top. And Ness over there defending his teammate Salem. Salem was down for a little bit, and Ness just kind of body surfing with Sylvester. And joining the play was Scardina for the Gladiators, and then Salem back to his feet, but it looked like Sylvester was able to hit him up high. So there's 1:10 left in the third period. Draws at neutral ice, and we're skating 5-on-5. Mick Messner will take the draw for Utah. Jack Ricketts is out there. Ricketts has made a big impact here tonight, not only with the goal, but he's played a strong two-way game, and he's had some other great chances. Utah with the puck as Grattan down the middle of the ice, stops in the high slot, fires lefty shot that's wide. Grattan delivers a big-time hit in the corner as there's less than a minute left in the third period. Now the Gladiators drive it back in as Wells behind his net as he'll get it over to the far corner. Grizzlies try to slow things down. In basketball, sometimes you play for one final shot. Could the Grizzlies be playing for one final shot here? There's 37 seconds left. Messner dancing around in front of Wells. And Felton will get it to Pike. Pike out of neutral ice. Fans to their feet. Here on a 2-2 tie. Felton crosses center ice down the middle. Now he steps over the offensive line. Rick saw there's going to be an arm raised by the referee. I think the Grizzlies might have been called for a penalty as Jack Ricketts threw a basketball pick at the Gladiators. You're talking about a game where we see so few penalties. It looks like it's going to be an interference call on Jack Ricketts. It was interesting. We talked about kind of a basketball-style play for one final shot, and it was a basketball pick at center ice where Ricketts knocked down, I believe, Louis Boudon. Bedone. And the next thing I saw, the screen was glitching back and forth, but the arm was raised by the referee, and I believe a penalty has been called on Jack Ricketts. And yeah, if you're watching on Blue Sports, there's Ricketts in the box. So remember, there's 22.6 seconds left in regulation. If Atlanta does not score for the rest of regulation, they will have a 4-on-3 power play to start overtime. And that OT would be about 1 minute and 38 seconds. So Messner will take the draw, and it's in the Grizzlies zone. As Mike McNamee, 6 feet, 179-pound forward. Originally, he was going to take the draw. Looks like he's kicked out of the circle. Now Nick Klitschko looks at a Gladiator. Sylvester will take the draw. Cody's his first name. He's the captain. Both captains will take the face-off, and it's won by Atlanta. Over towards the right circle. There's a righty shot, and that's blocked into traffic. 15 seconds left. Atlanta at the near goal line. Sylvester will kick it off a Grizzly skating on the left side. Lefty shot. Saved by Wells. And he will hold on at the near goal line with 9.5 seconds left in regulation. Boy, a couple of good looks by Atlanta. And with there being a lot of traffic out in front, you worry about the puck bouncing off a body part, off a knee, off a stick, off a skate, anything like that. And really with a lot of action in front of Wells, you worry about his vision at times. But Wells was able to make the stop. Ness will take the face-off. He's out there with Gratton, Felton, and Pike. As Ness will take the draw, and this one's won by Utah. Puck along the near wing wall. 5 seconds left in regulation. Big time scrum. Atlanta trying to scoop it out, and time runs out in the third period. We head to overtime. Both teams will get a standing point. We'll see who gets that extra standing point, but don't forget, Atlanta will have a 4-on-3 power play for 1 minute and 38 seconds to start OT. So you talk about a critical penalty kill. Grizzlies haven't had many of them this season. They only had one last night, and Ricketts' penalty is only the second here so far. And, my screen was glitching back and forth, but I believe he kind of, it's probably an interference call where it looked like he was just trying to set a basketball screen at neutral ice, and he made contact with the Gladiator. And there hasn't been much that's been called tonight, but that one did get called. So both teams do earn a standing point tonight, as the Gladiators are in their regular season opener, and the Grizzlies are in game 2 of the regular season. They won 3-1 last night. Some stats before we start OT. Regulation ended with Atlanta outshooting Utah 33-22. If you joined us late, Ty Voigt gave Utah a 1-0 lead, 9-10 into the contest, with Felton and Salem getting the assist. Utah led 1-0 after one period. Anthony Furiolo scored 27 seconds into the second period to tie it up. Grizzlies took a 2-1 lead as Jack Ricketts scored 7-11 into the second, with Genev and LeMaster gained the assist. Furiolo scored his second of the game, 2:28 into the third period, with Young and Nychuk getting the assist. Chad Nychuk has 2 assists for the Gladiators, and that's where we sit now. So it's a power play for Atlanta, 4-on-3 to start overtime for 1 minute and 38 seconds. Watch out for Mick Messner if he's on the ice. He's been an outstanding penalty-killing forward. Neil Shea's had some overtime heroics for the Grizzlies in the past. He had 2 overtime game winners in February of 2025. In terms of the shot count, Messner and Genev lead the Grizzlies with 3 each. Remember, in the ECHL, it's a 7-minute overtime session as opposed to the 5-minute OT session you see in the NHL. And so with that, more games do get decided in overtime. As the draw is into the Atlanta zone, almost looked like Messner was forcing the puck into the Atlanta zone as the Gladiators run it down. Atlanta out towards center ice as they'll guide into the zone easily. Bedone with it, east to the right wing. As the Gladiators back to the middle of the ice. Atlanta back up top to Sylvester. Move it to the left circle. Now back to Sylvester. One-timer. Saved by Wells. Rebound shot. Rebound shot to score. It wasn't the second chance. It was the third, and the Gladiators win 3-2. Sylvester took the initial shot. It was blocked by Wells. Second shot was blocked by Wells. And a Gladiator over on the right side gets the goal as the Gladiators get the win. The goal was scored 28 seconds into overtime. As the Gladiators celebrate. The goal, it looks like it was Louis Boudon, as it was the second shot that bounced off of Wells. Boudon was Johnny on the spot over to the right side. Sylvester took the shot, and then there was a second shot And Boudon was able to put it away from the right wing. So it looked like the first shot was taken by Sylvester down the middle. And then the backhand shot, I believe, was taken by Ethan Scardina. Kicked off a Wells pad towards the right circle. And putting it away is Louis Boudon, who gets his first of the year. As Boudon had been overseas for a few seasons. And he's in his third full season as a pro. And Louis Boudon, the native of France, wins it for the Gladiators 3-2 on a power play overtime goal. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. Once again, the final from Gas South Arena. It's the Atlanta Gladiators 3 and the Utah Grizzlies 2. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest lasting, best performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
The Atlanta Gladiators get a 3-2 overtime victory. Looked like they gave the goal to Ryan Nolan, number 24, even though it looked like it was number 29, Louis Boudon, that scored the goal. Chad Nychuk is one of the 3 stars. He had 2 assists. Looks like number 12, Anthony Furiolo, with 2 goals. He's a star tonight. I imagine he's the second star, and then the game-winning goal scorer would be the number 1 star. As Grizzlies did come away with a standing point tonight, but it was just one of those where just kind of an unfortunate break where Atlanta got a power play late in regulation going into overtime. As third star was Chad Nychuk with 2 assists, Anthony Furiolo with 2 goals, and then the game winner was scored by Louis Boudon, as he scored 28 seconds into overtime, even though the ECHL stat sheet has Ryan Nolan getting the goal. Boudon obviously is the number 1 star, so he got the game winner. As it was just one of those, Gladiators had the puck down the middle of the ice, and Sylvester fired towards Wells. It bounced off of Wells' pads, and then it looked like a Scardina, had a second look on a backhand. He bounced it off of Wells' pads, and the puck ricocheted towards the right circle, and there's where Louis Boudon was. And Boudon just, with Wells kind of angled a little bit towards his right, couldn't recover to his left, and Boudon was able to fire it past the goal line. And that's how this one ends, with Atlanta winning 3-2. Grizzlies did get on the board first, 9-10 into the first period, as Ty Voigt scored his second of the year. He now has a goal in each of his 2 games this season. Christian Felton and Luke Salem with the assists. Atlanta outshot Utah 14-6 in the first period, but it was the Grizzlies that led 1-0. Anthony Furiolo scored his first of 2 goals on the night, 27 seconds into the second period. Ethan Scardina and Chad Nychuk with the assists. Utah took a 2-1 lead, 7-11 into the second period, as Jack Ricketts scored his first pro goal. He scored many at the NCAA level, and he's going to be an outstanding pro. Danny Genev had the main assist as he was on the right side. He got a centering pass to Ricketts, and then once Ricketts got it, he fired it stick side past Hyder. And so Genev and Luke Lemaster picked up the assist, and Utah took a 2-1 lead, and they led 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Utah outshot Atlanta 12-10 in the second period. Early in the third, Furiolo scored his second of the night, 2:28 in, with Young and Nychuk getting the assists. It stayed a 2-2 tie throughout the rest of regulation. It's kind of interesting, we had talked about the Grizzlies having the puck with 40 seconds left. They were deep in their own zone. We talked about kind of like setting it up for one final shot. Pike got the puck, moved it to center ice. Gratton just kind of stood there. It was almost like he was setting a screen. He made contact with a Gladiator, and the official made the call. Oddly enough, there weren't many power plays, and the referee really wasn't calling much, but he made the call in that particular situation. That gave Atlanta a power play. They didn't score in the final 22 seconds of regulation, but they did have the power play for the first minute 38 of overtime. And obviously, they're 28 seconds into OT. Boudon got the overtime game winner. They gave the assist to Sylvester and McNamee. I couldn't quite tell who the guy that took the second shot was out in front of the net on the backhand attempt. I thought maybe it was Scardina, but it was actually Mike McNamee who took that second shot. And so McNamee gets an overtime assist, as does Cody Sylvester. Atlanta was 1 for 2 on the power play. Grizzlies were 0 for 1. In terms of the shot count, Grizzlies had 22 tonight. Atlanta with 36. Mick Messner and Danny Janea have led Utah with 3 shots. Colby Enns, Garrett Pike, Tyler Gratton, and Ty Voigt each had 2 shots, and a few other Grizzlies with 1 each. For Atlanta, in terms of the shot count, Anthony Furiolo led the way with 5 shots. Andrew Jarvis had 4. A bunch of other Gladiators had 3 and 2 shots each. Pretty good goaltending matchup. Dylan Wells saved 33 of 36 for the Grizzlies, as he's a tough luck loser there. And Ethan Hyder picks up the victory. He saved 20 of 22. I'll see if the Grizzlies can find a way to get a victory on Sunday afternoon. I mentioned this being kind of an important game for the Grizzlies based on the fact that Utah tomorrow afternoon will be in the 3rd game in 3 days, and Atlanta, this was their opener, so it would only be the 2nd game of a back-to-back for them. And obviously the Grizzlies had some travel getting from Greenville to Atlanta after last night's game, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of energy and petrol the Grizzlies will have for tomorrow afternoon. But, Utah, they do train in altitude, and oddly enough, the Grizzlies in years past have been a pretty good team. 3rd game in 3 days. They always seem to have a little bit more energy than the opposition. However, Atlanta is not playing with the same deck of cards, as it's only the 2nd game of a back-to-back for them. Well, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and not necessarily the final outcome. And unfortunately, I got here to the Grizz Cave, and all of a sudden, you plug the internet cord into the big wall, and you think, all right, got Ethernet, we got plenty of internet, and that was not working, unfortunately. So we had to go with Wi-Fi, and I don't know if it was the Wi-Fi here or if it was from the feed we were getting from Atlanta, but it was freezing about every 30 seconds. And when it would freeze for a good 4 to 5 seconds. And so, unfortunately, because of that, I couldn't quite describe the game the way I wanted to. You could be in the middle of a play, and all of a sudden, the screen freezes, and it's like, well, what happens next? And, with hockey, part of what makes it so much fun is it is a free-flowing type of game. And so, when you can't see part of the action, that, it just unfortunately makes things difficult. So hopefully we'll find a decent spot with a very reliable Ethernet wall that we can, have a continual screen to where we can describe the game. But that's some of the challenges of remote broadcast. I know that hanging out at Gas South Arena, you don't have those sort of issues. This is the type of weekend where I kind of wish I was on the road, because I wanted to be there for Guy Carenza, who was with us for a couple seasons, a University of Utah product, and he was making his professional debut with the Gladiators tonight, although I kind of consider his time with the Grizzlies to be part of his professional debut, but his debut as the main play-by-play guy in Atlanta. And I think his radio broadcasts are also on YouTube, as is the Grizzlies games. And so maybe in a couple days we'll catch Guy's description of the action here. And he didn't have a frozen screen to deal with, so I'm pretty sure it was a good description of the game, not only tonight, but what he'll have tomorrow afternoon. Face-off will be at 1:10 tomorrow afternoon in the Mountain Time Zone. Pre-game coverage begins at 12:50. Well, we'll see if the Grizzlies can even up the score in the best of, in really the 2-game series. Atlanta will meet 5 times against the Grizzlies, and now Utah all-time is 2-4-1 against the Gladiators. Once again, in 2 hours and 21 minutes and in front of a good crowd of 5,448. It was Louis Baudon getting the overtime game winner, 28 seconds left as Atlanta got an overtime power play and connected on it. Congratulations to Jack Ricketson on his first professional goal and Danny Genev with his first professional point. Ty Voigt found the back of the net for the second straight game. And once again, Christian Felton was solid for the Grizzlies. Felton and Salem had 1 assist for Utah. And Salem was a +1 for the Grizzlies, as was the forward line of Shea, Ty Voigt, and John Gillott was, Luke Lemaster was a +1. Grizzlies had some good individual performances, but Atlanta just had that power play when they needed it the most. And they capitalized on it, and that was the difference in the game. So we'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon as the Grizzlies look to even up the score on the Atlanta Gladiators. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.